you living together at the time?
Yes, we were.
And where were you living?
In Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay. And at the time, in October 2014, were you pregnant?
Yes, I was nine weeks pregnant.
And was Ty father at that time?
Yes, he is.
Where do you reside today?
I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
And who do you reside with today?
I live with Ty and our 2 baby daughters.
How old are you?
Zia is about to be 2 years old, and Eliza is 10 months.
And has the formal nature of your relationship with Ty changed?
We are married. We are married now.
And when did you become married to Ty?
We got married in January 2016.
Now, Mr. Tafoya-Chan, do you work?
I work full time.
And where do you work? Where do you work?
I work at Adult Probation and Parole.
And what's your title at probation and parole?
I'm a probation officer and a resource coordinator.
And what was your job past year? What kind of job did you have back in 2014?
I was a probation officer in Santa Fe.
Now I'm going to turn your attention back to October of 2014. Okay? Did anything unusual happen on the morning of October 2014, October 27, 2014?
Nothing unusual happened.
Were you aware that your husband might have some special duty with the Sheriff's Department that day?
He was going to be going on a transport to Safford, Arizona.
Was this out of the ordinary duty for your then boyfriend, now husband, Ty Chan?
No, he had been on several transports since we had been together.
And at the time, who was Ty Chan employed by?
The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department.
What time did you leave the house then?
He left around 6.
What, if you can describe to the jury, was his mood that morning?
He was fine. He got ready to go, and he was happy to be going on a transport.
Did anything seem to be unusual or out of sorts?
Not at all.
Now, did you ever meet Jeremy Martin?
I had not ever met Jeremy Martin.
You know the now that Jeremy Martin is there.
I do.
Now, on the day, did you know, well, let me ask you this, did you know where Ty was going?
Yes.
And who was he going with?
He was going on the transport to Safford with Jeremy Martin.
And when you say Stafford, what state?
Arizona.
And what were they doing?
They were going to go and drop off their inmate, and they were going to go and stay in Las Cruces that night.
Did you understand this to be routine, or did you understand the nature of this transport?
Yes, he had been on other transports while we'd been together.
Now, without getting into the conversations or the substance of the conversation you had with Ty, did you communicate with him during the course of the day while he was on a transport?
Yes, I knew his whereabouts, and I talked to him throughout the day.
Okay. Did you ever come to believe that there was a problem during the day?
I didn't know there was a problem during the day.
Okay. Did you ever come to know, or were you ever advised by Mr. Chan in any way about his plans for the night?
Yes, he told me earlier in...
Just tell me not what I told you. Just you learned his plans, and I'll ask you some more questions, okay?
Yes, I knew that he was going to, after they dropped the transport, after they dropped their inmate off, they were going to go back and stay in Las Cruces that evening.
And in your mind, was the plan to stay in Las Cruces for the evening out of the ordinary?
No, not at all.
Do you know where Ty went to college?
Yes.
And in the best of your knowledge, were you aware of any friends or friendships that he had remaining in Las Cruces in the years since he was in college?
Yes, he had several friends in Las Cruces, and he was going to come and hang out with them.
Are you familiar with a person by the name of Josh Sextower?
Yes, I am.
Have you met Josh?
Yes, I have.
And who is Josh married to?
Josh is married to Susanna. Susanna Sexauer now.
She used to be Gonzalez?
She used to be Gonzalez.
All right. And how do you know, did you know Susanna Gonzalez, now Susanna Sexauer, in the years preceding this event?
I knew of her. She was Ty's ex-wife.
And were you, in 2014, October 2014, did you know the relationship between Josh and Susanna?
Yes.
And what was it?
They were in a relationship.
Were they married?
I knew that they were getting married, but I wasn't sure if they had already been married.
You know if they're married now?
They are married now.
Now, without telling us what Ty told you, what he told you specifically, did you ever come to some belief about Ty's plans for the evening of October 27, 2014?
I knew that he was going to go out drinking and hanging out in Las Cruces with his old friends.
And was this in any way unusual behavior for your then boyfriend, Ty?
No, he was excited to come and hang out and see his old friends that he hadn't seen in a while.
And were you aware of who he was going to be hanging out with?
I knew that he was going to be with Jeremy and that they were going to meet up with Josh.
Do you know a young lady by the name of Nicole James?
Yes.
And who is Nicole James?
She is Ty's cousin.
Have you ever met Nicole before?
Yes.
And do you know a gentleman by the name of Ian Robles?
I didn't know Ian on October 27th.
Without getting into the details of what Mr. Chan might have told you during the course of the evening while he was out with his friends, did you ever come to believe anything was wrong or that was a problem during the evening?
I had received a phone call and I knew that something was going on.
I'm going to ask you about that in just a second. Up until like 8, 10 o'clock, did you think anything was wrong?
No, not at all.
Now, let me ask you, your condition, you were pregnant at the time, right?
Yes.
Is that right? And it's
Sustained. Again, there's not a problem with laying some degree of foundation in terms of our knowledge, but let's not.
My next question,
Mr. Clark.
wait, well,
Give a moment, Mr. Clark. Give a moment.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Tafoya-Chan.
Thank you.
Go ahead, proceed, Mr. Clark.
all right, and then what time did you go to bed? October 27, 2014.
I was getting ready for bed and I was actually already in bed. I was trying to sleep, but I was uncomfortable that night. I was newly pregnant.
What time did you receive a call from Mr. Chan after you were in bed?
I received a phone call at 11:56 on October 27th.
Tell the jury, if you will, what emotional state do you believe your husband would be in as a result of that phone call?
When I received that phone call, he was scared and he was in a panic. He was saying,
Anybody said it, I'll ask you in a moment. Let the jury, what you perceive as emotional state.
he seemed like he was scared. He was terrified.
Now, you've been with Mr. Chan for many years, right?
Yes.
Have you seen him angry before?
Yes.
Have you seen him scared before?
Yes.
Based on your direct observations, what you heard on the telephone, could you characterize the level of fear that Mr. Chan feels?
Sustained. She's already described it.
Now, how long, have you reviewed your phone records in this case?
Yes,
How long did that first phone call last?
12 minutes.
Without saying what Mr. Chan told you, I'll get to it in a moment, was his speech, would you characterize it as coherent and knowledgeable or incoherent? Would you characterize the jury kind of how he was talking?
He was rambling, he was somewhat incoherent, and he was saying crazy things.
Okay. Did Mr. Chan ever describe for you where he was?
He was hiding in the bushes, and he could see the Golden Corral, the Red Lobster, and he was by the mall.
And as a result of what Mr. Chan told you, did you make any plans, or what was your reaction?
I was so scared from what he was saying in that initial phone call that I was getting ready to go to Las Cruces. I didn't know what was happening, and I was yelling at him, and I was trying to ask him what was going on. I couldn't get an answer out of him, and I was just getting more scared that I was getting ready to go to Las Cruces at that point, at that moment.
Did you make any further plans to drive to Las Cruces?
I still kept trying to get a hold of it, or trying to understand what was going on. So I hadn't made it a plan to go. I was just getting ready to go.
And after 12 minutes, how do you know the phone call was 12 minutes long?
I reviewed my phone records before.
And what happened after the 12 minute phone call?
The phone disconnected, and I kept on calling him back and calling him back and calling him back. And he answered again.
Okay. You know what time that second phone call that you made to Mr. Chan took place?
It was at 12:10.
Second call at 12:10.
The second phone call when he answered.
Okay. And what was Mr. Chan's emotional state during that second phone call?
I just heard shuffling, and the phone disconnected soon after.
Right.
The
How
first
long
call.
was that call, if you know?
It was a 2-minute phone call.
During the course of that phone call, did Mr. Chan make any exclamations to you, or did you hear anyone talking during that scuffling sound you're talking?
The second phone call, no.
What happened to that phone call?
It disconnected.
Was there another phone call shortly thereafter?
There was another phone call that connected. I had called Tai over and over and over when the second one had disconnected, and he finally answered the phone.
If you know, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what time that third phone call was connected between you and Mr. Chan.
At 12:13 a.m.
And if you know, tell the jurors how long that phone call was.
I believe it was 46 minutes.
Okay. Did that phone call ultimately get disconnected?
It was disconnected.
And we'll get to that in a moment. During this phone call, did you, first of all, let's talk about what you heard in the back. Where did Mr. Chan appear to be during this phone call?
I couldn't tell. He was talking. There was somebody else that was there talking, and I had heard shuffling, and I can't say for sure where he was.
Did you ever hear an echo of sound?
Later on in the phone call, I heard an echo.
Okay. And based on your experience, were you able to at least surmise where Mr. Chan was during that portion of the phone call?
Objection, Judge. The witness testified very clearly that...
No, don't argue it in front of the jury. Just tell me what the objection is under the rules of evidence. What are you objecting to?
The question's been asked and answered, Judge.
Overruled.
Mr. Pulaski, again, based on your observations and perceptions of what was going on, could you make some determination of where Tai appeared to be at the time during that phone call, in the portion of that phone call?
I assumed that he was in the bathroom because I heard an echo.
And did you hear any banging, crashing, or any sounds during the phone call?
Sustained.
I'll rephrase it. Did you hear any sounds during that phone call?
I did. There was an echo, and I was still yelling into the phone, and I was trying to get his attention so he could talk to me. And he wasn't talking to me, and I heard...
Ms. Tafoya, the question was, did you hear an echo?
No, I asked you, that was the meeting. I asked if you heard any sounds.
Any sounds? So just
Okay.
find your response to that. Yes.
Okay, Judge. I heard an echo, and I heard banging on the door.
And accompanying the bang, did you hear anyone make an exclamation?
Yes.
And what did you hear that voice to say?
I heard, open the door, open the fucking door, you're not going anywhere.
Did you perceive that to be Tai Chan's voice?
That was not Ty's voice.
Now, did Tai, Mr. Chan, ever indicate to you that he'd been physically assaulted?
Well, when he was in the echo, he was out of the echo. And then he was back in the echo, and he told,
Yes.
and he told me that he had been punched in the face and kicked in the balls.
And where did Mr. Chan appear to be when he made that statement to you?
I assume that he was back in the bathroom.
Did he say it quiet? What was his emotional, what did you perceive his emotional state to be when he made his statement to you?
I felt like he was scared and panicked, and I was still yelling into the phone, and I was trying to get him to tell me what was going on, and he sounded confused and scared and terrified.
What effect did all this have on you, Mr. Tafoya-Chan?
I was freaking out, and I was getting ready to go to Las Cruces.
After Mr. Chan made that exclamation to you on the telephone about his injuries, what happened next?
The echo was gone, and I heard what I described as a fight or struggling or fisticuffs, and I heard a big pound sound. And then, can I say what anybody said, or just leave it?
Did anyone ever explain to you, did anyone ever make any sort of commands?
Tai said, sit down, sit down.
You said Tai said that.
Yes,
And did you recognize his voice?
yes.
Did anyone, or did you hear anyone else make any exclamations regarding what somebody believed or not?
That was when there was banging on the door.
Okay. And what did that person say?
Open the door, open the fucking door, you're not going anywhere.
Okay. Now, after you hear the scuffling, after you hear the bang, you hear the crashing, right? Tell the jury what you heard next.
I heard gunshots.
How many gunshots do you think you heard?
I thought that I heard 2 gunshots.
And what was the quality of the sound on the line when you heard the gunshots?
After I heard the big pound sound, it seemed like it was muzzled or something. And then I heard the gunshots, so I could hear that, but I was screeching and I was screaming and I was yelling and I was asking Tai to answer the phone and to say something, and so I was screaming into the phone, and all I heard were the first gunshots. I couldn't hear anything else.
After you heard the gunshots, did you hear anyone else's voices for several minutes?
I didn't hear anybody for several minutes.
What were you doing during the several minutes?
I got my phone. I had another phone. I was using my work phone, and I called Josh to go check on Tai and to see where he was and to see if he was okay. And I called.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Did you know or were you aware of what hotel Mr. Chan stayed in?
No.
Mr. Tafoya-Chan, did you ever call 911?
No, I didn't.
In retrospect, might you have called 911?
I thought about it a lot, and even if I would have called 911, I wouldn't have known where to tell them to go. So the last thing that I thought was to call the last person that he was with and to make sure that he was okay.
And when you called Josh, what you said about you called Josh?
Yes.
Why did you call Josh specifically?
He had been with Ty earlier that evening.
And without telling me what Josh told you, did you make any requests of Josh?
I asked him to go check on Ty, to go to the hospital, and to see where he was and if he was okay. And I told him that I heard gunshots.
Did you call anybody else?
Mr. Tafoya-Chan, Counsel Walker.
I'm sorry. I called True, and I told him that Ty was dead.
Who's True?
True is Ty's brother.
Did you make any other calls to Mr. Chan's employer?
No, I did not call his employer.
You never called Gaten's office?
No, I had wanted to call him earlier in the evening, but I didn't.
Now, ultimately, what did you hear on the telephone after the shooting stopped and after some minutes had passed?
I heard silence after the shots happened. And then I heard what I thought to be a fire alarm. And then I heard a dog barking.
About, if you could tell the jury how much time passed before you heard the dog barking?
I don't know how long. It felt like forever. I don't know.
Did you hear anything else?
I thought that I heard the cops identify themselves.
Then what happened to that phone call?
Well, I had packed my bag and I was getting ready. I was driving out to Las Cruces, and I live in El Dorado. It's about 8 miles from Santa Fe. And as I...
Don't complicate the issue.
Okay.
Listen to the question and just respond to that question.
Okay.
And I think that they asked what occurred with your phone.
My phone disconnected when I lost service.
Go ahead.
Were you ever able to make contact or to talk with Ty after that last disconnected call?
Not that evening, no.
How much time passed between what you heard on the telephone, that you thought was gunshots, until you started driving to Las Cruces?
I was instantly headed to Las Cruces. I was going to go pick up my sister.
At some point in time, the law enforcement contacted you?
We were already on the road to Las Cruces, and a state police officer contacted me.
Did you talk to the state police officer?
I did.
At some point in time, did you learn the condition of Mr. Chan?
When I spoke with that state police officer, I found out that he was not in the hospital.
Up to that point, what was your belief regarding your then boyfriend and now husband?
I thought that Ty was dead. I thought Ty was dead, and I told my sister and his brother, and I drove to Las Cruces thinking that Ty was dead.
Have a moment, Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead.
That's what John.
Thank you. Mr. Antonio. Cross-examination of Mr. Tafoya-Chan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good, Mr. Tafoya. Do you need some time to reflect yourself or anything?
I think I'm okay, sir.
And please, when I ask you a question that you don't understand, please ask me to repeat it, okay?
Okay.
May I call you Mr. Tafoya?
That's okay.
Mr. D'Antonio, would you move the microphone just a little bit towards it? Thank you.
Mr. Tafoya, have you discussed the facts and testimony with Mr. Chan?
Not since the last testimony.
When was that?
In June of 2016.
So since June 16th, you said?
June 2016, sir.
1916, okay, I'm sorry. And it's your testimony today that since that time, you didn't speak about your version of the facts of the case, is that right?
We did not speak about our versions.
And given your relationship with the defendant, Mr. Tafoya, I assume that you would do everything you could to help your husband, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't lie for my husband.
I'm not suggesting that, but you would do whatever you could to help. Is that right?
I guess you could say yes.
Now, ma'am, you stated the first phone call you received the night on August 26, 2014 was approximately 11:56 p.m. Is that correct?
In October? I'm sorry, can you repeat?
October 26th? That's the night of the incident?
October 27th?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're correct.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. Thank you. October 27th.
Yes.
And you testified that you thought your husband was in a panic, is that right?
Yes.
But you never mentioned the fact that he was intoxicated. Is that right?
No.
In fact, you didn't believe he was intoxicated at that time. Is that true?
No.
And you've seen your husband scared before, is that right?
Yes.
And when was that?
Well, when I was in labor, I thought that it wasn't going to go very well, and I've seen him scared then.
And you looked scared?
I'm sorry, what?
I said you looked scared at the time you were in labor?
Yes, he was scared.
Second call came in from the defendant at 12:10 on the 28th, 2014. Is that correct?
I called him.
Oh, you called him, and you heard scuffling, and nothing more. Is that right?
I thought I said shuffling. I'm sorry.
Okay, shuffling. Couldn't understand. So,
Yes, sir.
and it was a third phone call that came in at 2:13, which ran for 46 minutes.
At 12:13, sir.
12:13. You stated on direct examination that you were doing a lot of yelling and screaming on the phone because you were concerned. Is that right?
Yes.
And that screaming and nervousness was of a good volume and loud intensity. Is that right?
Yes.
And wouldn't you say that, given your reactions, it would be very hard to hear what was going on outside of the phone at that time?
I was screaming because of what I was hearing on the phone.
Of course, so your perception of what was going on because on the phone was clouded or muted by your own voice. Is that right?
I don't believe so.
While you were screaming into the phone, were you able to hear precisely what was going on at the other end of the line?
I heard what I heard on the phone, and I was also yelling. Sorry.
I apologize. And you heard what you testified to over your own screaming and concern on the phone. Is that right?
Yes, I wasn't screaming continuously on the phone. I was able to hear what was going on.
And it just so happened every time you paused, you heard what you heard. Is that right?
I heard what I heard.
Now, with all the commotion that was going on as you were listening to what you thought was the death of your husband, isn't it true that you can't be positive that the statements made that night were that of your husband? Is that right?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Given all the commotion of that night and your great emotional stress you were under, you can't be certain of who said what when you're on the phone. Is that a correct statement?
I was able to differentiate the two.
Now, you heard, sit down, and you claim that was the defendant's voice. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you heard 2 shots.
What I thought was 2 shots.
How close in proximity were the shots together, if you recall?
I don't recall. When I heard the first shot, that's when I was screeching.
And at the present time, you have no present memory of the spacing of those shots. Is that true?
When I heard the shots, I thought that he was dead, and I was just screeching, so I can't tell for sure what the time was between them. I'm sorry.
No, fair enough. If you don't know, you don't know. Please, that's no problem. Now, isn't it also true, after the defendant said, sit down, you also heard another voice say, please no, please no. Isn't that right?
No.
You never heard anyone say, please no, please no?
I didn't say another voice.
Did you hear those words uttered?
Yes, I heard those words.
And whose voice do you believe it to be?
I believed it to be Ty's voice.
Now, isn't it true that in prior testimony that you indicated that the sound was muffled and that you were unsure about whose voice it was?
I believe that I said that I thought it was Ty's voice who said, please no, please no.
Did you say that you thought the voice was muffled previously? Muffled, I'm sorry.
Muffled, yes.
How many times did you communicate with the defendant on the night of October 27th, let's say from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 12 midnight? Either text or phone call?
I couldn't say how many times we had been texting throughout the day.
And at no time during the day did the defendant tell you what hotel he was staying at. Is that right?
That's correct.
Never came up for discussion.
He said that he was going to check into the hotel, but I didn't ask him which hotel.
And after the defendant checked into the hotel, he never called you and told you where he was going to be in case of emergency?
No, he didn't.
Isn't it when Mr. Chen traveled and was going to stay away, wasn't it customary for him to tell you what hotel he was staying in?
No, sir.
So that wasn't part of your little routine?
No.
So if you had an emergency contact, you could just call him by his cell phone number? Is that what it was?
I don't know how to answer that question.
I would call the question. When you heard the shots and you feared the worst for the defendant, you said you didn't call the police.
I did not.
And you didn't know where he was. That's why you didn't call the police. Is that right?
That was right. That is right.
I mean, you are a highly trained probation officer, is that right?
Yes.
And is it my understanding that probation officers are considered law enforcement officers?
We'd like to think so.
Did you know the defendant's proximate location around 11:30 that night?
During the first phone call, he told me that he was in the bushes and he could see Golden Corral in the mall, but I didn't know what he was talking about.
Now, it never occurred on you when you feared your husband was being killed to call the police and say, hey, listen, I've heard gunshots and my husband is somewhere in the vicinity of the Golden Corral?
I didn't know where the Golden Corral was.
Isn't it fair to assume that if you called the police in Las Cruces, they would know where the Golden Corral is?
That's fair to say.
We didn't do that, did you?
I didn't. The only thing I could think about was to call the last person that he had been with.
So as a trained probation officer, would you advise one of your probation subjects to, in a time of trouble, to call their friend or call the police?
I would tell them to call the police.
Do you have the ability or the knowledge to track phone calls?
I don't, personally.
I have a second, Judge.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Dean.
Mr. Tafoya, could you remind the jury what phone call you received information that the defendant had been punched in the face and kicked in the balls?
That was the third phone call, I believe.
So that was the last phone call, and that was a long phone call. It had all the other sounds and noise of it, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did the defendant indicate at that time when that altercation took place?
I was not aware when it took place.
Did it seem to be recent?
I wasn't sure. I was just trying to make sense of what he was saying, sir.
When you heard the sit down, was that a clear communication over the phone?
Yes, I was able to hear that clearly.
And would you classify it now as being clear?
I'm sorry, can you
Yes,
repeat that?
Would you be willing to tell the jury that when you heard those phrases, sit down, was it clear?
Yes, I could hear that clearly.
Do you remember testifying in another proceeding where you said that sit down was not clear?
I don't believe, if I may have said that in the last testimony.
Would it refresh your memory if I showed you a copy of the previous testimony?
Okay.
Thank you.
And again, Ms. Tafoya-Chan, just review what they're going to show you, read it to yourself. Rather than help us.
May I approach you?
Yes, of course.
I'm approach you to line 10 and sorry, 10 and 13, please.
When Tai said sit down, I could hear him clearly. That's what I said. And then after I heard the pound sound, it was muffled.
Thank you.
That was correct.
Thank you. So your memory is fresh now, right? And it said your testimony was that it was clear. That's right?
In the testimony that you just showed me, it said that when he said sit down, I could hear him clearly, and then I heard the pound sound, and then it became muffled.
Okay.
So-
How the door was muffled?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is that your testimony? How the door was muffled?
No, sir.
I'm sorry. Then let me re-ask the question. What was muffled?
The next phrase.
I'm sorry?
The next phrase.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. That's all I have to expect of testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Giannis. Mr. Clark, any redirect examination of Ms. Tafoya-Chan?
Any questions? Mr. Tafoya, you asked Mr. Antonio about,
Speak up, Mr. Clark.
about the need to call the police.
Yes.
At any time, did you hear law enforcement on the other end of the line?
When I heard the dogs, and I believe that I heard somebody identifying themselves at the room.
What was your impression then regarding law enforcement on the other end of the phone call?
I believe that law enforcement was there.
And that Mr. D'Antonio asked you a question, and you refresh your recollection regarding what you said?
He had asked me a question, and I answered it, but I answered it correctly. When he showed me my testimony, it was the same thing I had just said.
And your testimony was regarding what you heard regarding sit down, right?
Yes, I heard sit down clearly.
And what was the next phrase you heard after you hear sit down,
After I heard sit down, there was the pound sound, and then it became muffled, and I heard please no, please no.
And who do you believe said please no, please no?
I believe that Tai had said please no, please no.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Does the jury have any questions of Ms. Tafoya-Chan? Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry. Go ahead and proceed with your re-cross-examination.
When you heard, when the defendant told you that he was kicking the balls and punching the face, did you know where the thickness
This is
was?
beyond the scope of I asked two questions. It's very limited.
Again, so that we don't have to recall any witnesses, you can proceed with your question on overruling the objection.
When that statement was made to you on the phone, the defendant was outside, was he not?
No, he wasn't outside.
Who do you believe he was?
I believe that he was in the bathroom when he told me that.
Doug, your experience, wouldn't it be the individual with the gun in his hand who would say, sit down, sit down?
Judge, that was all speculation.
Sustained.
Well, I think, Judge,
Nothing further.
nothing further than that.
Thank you. At this time, does the jury have any questions of this witness? Ms. Tafoya-Chan, thank you very much. Mr. Clark, may this witness be excused?
She may, Your Honor.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir, by all means.
All right. So, Ms. Tafoya-Chan, if you have no further responsibilities in this trial as a witness, if you wish to remain in the courtroom, you may, or you're free to leave.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your next witness, Mr. Clark.
Ms. Christie, will handle this witness.
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. The next, and I believe the last witness, is going to be Mr. Chan. Perhaps because of the length of the testimony, although I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to last. Let's go ahead and take a very short break.
All right.
Let's not take more than 10 minutes. Thank you. Return to your seats, please. Mr. Chan, let me ask you to please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
That's right.
Thank you. Take your seat, please. And again, you've heard the admonitions that I've given to all of the other witnesses. Please, even though your attorney is going to be asking you questions from your right-hand side, please give the responses to the jury. The court is going to note for the record that this is the defendant, Tai Chan. Ms. Garcia, you can commence with your direct examination, Mr. Chan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Chan, where did you grow up?
Grew up in El Dorado. Laredo's like 5 minutes out of Santa Fe. It's like a suburb of Santa Fe.
Is that where you were born?
I was born in Santa Fe.
Who are your mother and father?
My mother's Joanne Chan. My father is Roy Chan.
Do you have any siblings?
I have a younger brother named True Chan.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Eldorado Elementary, and then I went to Capshaw Middle School, and then I attended Santa Fe High School.
What year did you graduate from Santa Fe High School?
I graduated in 2005.
Did you go to college after high school?
Yes, I came to New Mexico State University.
What were you studying there? What was your major at MSU?
I was studying criminal justice.
Did you eventually graduate from MSU?
Yes, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2010.
And you started in MSU when?
I believe it was 2005.
While you were at MSU, were you involved in any activities in student organizations?
I was in a fraternity.
Objection, Robertson.
Again, it's appropriate to give a little bit of the background of an individual, but going into that detail at this point is not necessary. I'm going to sustain the objection.
Oh, that's fine. Mr. Chan, are you married?
Yes, I'm married to Lea Tafoya-Chan.
And how long have you been married?
It's been around a year and a half.
Do you have any children together?
Yes, we have 2 little girls, Eliza, who is 9 months, and Zia, who is going to be 2.
Now let's go back to some of your employment experience. Let's move on to some of your employment experience, rather. First of all, did you have any jobs when you were in high school?
Yes, I worked at it was called Chicago Dog. It was like a hot dog stand downtown Santa Fe. And I would go to school half day because I finished all my classes in high school, so I only had 2 classes my senior year, and then I would work Chicago Dog.
Well, what was the non-responsive?
It is unresponsive. I'm going to sustain the objection. Just listen to the question. Just give the response to the question itself.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
Did you have any jobs when you were in college?
Yes, I worked at a sheet metal fabrication shop called Southwest Metal in Santa Fe.
What kind of things did you do at that job?
We would install different things on rooftops for like drainage or rain or gutters and stuff like that. And then we'd also fabricate things in the shop, like certain projects people would want us to make for them.
What was your first job out of college?
I worked on a wildland fire team for the city of Santa Fe.
Were you a firefighter?
Yes.
When was that? Do you remember?
That was around 2010.
What kind of tasks were required of you to be a firefighter in the city of Santa Fe?
We were tasked with, clearing a lot of trees or brush that if a fire started, it could potentially be really dangerous. So we do a lot of just clearing of bushes and trees, and then we would do controlled burns sometimes.
And when did you first put in where was your first job as a police officer?
I was at the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office in Santa.
And was that right after you were a firefighter?
Yes.
Why did you choose a career in law enforcement?
Since I got my degree in criminal justice, I just thought I'd continue and put in to be a police officer.
What did you have to do in order to become a police officer?
We had to test, do a written examination and a physical assessment examination, which required push-ups, so many push-ups in a minute, so many sit-ups in a minute, mile and a half run in a certain amount of time. And then we went to an interview phase. If you passed those 2 sections, And then I believe it was a psychological test you had to pass, and then I don't know if we had another interview after that, or they would just start considering you for the job.
Did you have to do any field training or attend an academy in order to be a police officer?
Yes, we had to do field training and attend an academy to get certified to become a law enforcement officer.
When did you attend the law enforcement academy?
I believe it was in 2011 sometime.
How did you like your academy training?
I really enjoyed the academy.
What did the academy training consist of?
In the academy we had different blocks. We had law block, we had defensive driving, we had firearms, defensive tactics, patrol tactics. I think that's it. And like we had other little sections that we would do complete during our time at the academy.
And how long did the academy last?
I believe it was between 20 and 22 weeks. I'm not sure the exact duration.
So, several months.
Yes, it was long.
Where was the academy training located?
It was in Santa Fe, I believe it's in Mexico, DPS or Department of Public Safety, yes.
You mentioned that one of the blocks that you were trained on at the academy was firearms. What firearms did you train on at the academy?
Well, in the academy we just trained on our handguns, on our sidearm.
And what type of firearm is your sidearm?
Mine is a Glock 357 Model 31.
Can you describe for the jury what your firearm training at the academy consisted of?
It was a duration during the academy. I can't recall how many, maybe a week of learning all the safety rules of firearms, learning the rules of firearms, manipulation of your weapon, how to draw your weapon out of your holster, and then we would train on different distances, shooting at targets and different drills. And then eventually we would have to qualify and pass that block of the academy to move on to the next. So we would have night qualifications as well as day qualifications, where we would shoot at different distances at the targets and shoot in different stances, laying down, standing up, and right hand, left hand.
And you said this lasted, was it a week? Or?
I believe it was around a week, yes.
Okay. And during that week, were you shooting every day?
Yes, every day.
You mentioned that you had to qualify. Can you tell the jury about the proficiency requirements that you had to qualify at the academy?
Yes, well, you had to, in order to pass, you had to make so many shots in the target, and I believe you couldn't move on without I believe it was an 80% or 70%, between there.
Okay. So you have to hit a target so many times, basically?
Right. If you had a certain amount of misses, you couldn't move on to the next block in the academy.
What was your training with respect to where you were supposed to aim your firearm?
I'm sorry?
What was your training with respect to where you were supposed to aim your firearm at an assailant?
We were trained to shoot at center mass, which was the middle body of the target. And then we would do failure drills where we would shoot twice to the body and then one to the head, which was like a credit card area within the target that they had for us. So we'd have to make it in that credit card space.
And that was called a failure drill?
Yes, I believe they called it a failure drill.
Were you ever disqualified because of your inability to shoot proficiently?
No, I wasn't.
Were you ever disqualified for your inability to keep physical strength standards?
No, I was not.
Did you participate in any coursework or any block in the academy on self-defense?
Yes, we had that was another block in the academy of self-defense.
Was that part of, I think you said defensive tactics, was it
Yes.
part of that?
Yes, that's defensive tactics and self-defense. It was all one block.
How long was that block?
I want to say it was 2 weeks.
Can you describe, how was that self-defense block part of your academy training?
It was pretty demanding. It was physical. We learned a variety of different things on what to do if, someone was just pushing you, and how to do different holds, or how to retain your weapon in your holster, and different moves to keep your gun secured, moves in disarming somebody holding a gun on you from different angles with different weapons.
How many times would you go over these maneuvers during this self-defense block of 2 weeks?
We'd learn the move, and then we would do it repetitively with the partner over and over again.
Did you learn anything in the self-defense block about what to do if someone's pointing a firearm at you?
Yes, we learned how to handle that situation.
Did you learn anything about if someone's pointing a gun at you at different angles?
Yes, we did different scenarios, like different angles of someone holding a gun at you.
Did you learn anything about, you mentioned, I think, how to disarm someone. Did you mention that?
Yes.
What did you learn about that?
The first thing we learned was always to get the muzzle away from you, because that's what's going to kill you, is the muzzle. So we learned how to first get that away from us and get out a little way of the muzzle, and then to grab the firearm over the top of the gun, and then force the gun over the thumb, and that's the weakest part of the grip on the gun, to break that hold and retrieve the weapon.
You saw the testimony of Major Gonzalez when he was in the courtroom. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
He was the first witness.
Yes.
Is that how you were trained to disarm someone?
Yes, that's accurate.
What did they teach you in the Academy about officer safety?
They taught us that we need to go home to our families, that we're the most important one, that we need to make it home and get through our shift, because they would tell us it's a job, but you need to make it home.
And did they drill into your head that you had to do everything to protect yourself?
Yes, very much so. It was always about being careful of where people's hands were at, because they would drill into your mind that people's hands could kill you or harm you, so that's what we were always focused on.
Why was this type of training important to you?
Well, it was very important. It could mean life or death if you had to, perform one of these tactics that we were taught. It could save your life.
Is that what they instructed you?
Yes, they would drill into us that you need to learn this. This could save your life one day, or this will help you out of a tough situation. It's the job. I mean, we're dealt with. We're going into difficult situations every day.
After graduating from the academy, did you at some point become a certified law enforcement officer?
Yes, I did.
And you said that you started at San Jose County, right? And did you have any probationary period when you were a rookie?
Yes, I believe it was a year.
1 year?
Yes.
And at that time, you were actually, even though you're in your probationary period, you had a status as a law enforcement officer, commissioned officer. What does that mean? What were your duties?
As a commissioned officer, we're meant to serve and protect the public, and be on patrol and perform. I know there's tasks of taking reports for burglaries or any call for service we would encounter.
And what were your duties as a patrolman? That was your first assignment, right?
Yes.
What were your job duties there?
We dealt with a variety of things. A lot of domestic violence calls, crashes, or any call that would come over the radio. You're the first responder. Patrols are first responding to calls.
And when did your job assignment change from patrolman to something else?
I believe after 2 years of being on patrol, I tested to become an agent.
Were you ever on the SWAT team as a San Jose County Sheriff's Officer?
Yes, I believe I joined the SWAT team about a year and a half after I was hired.
What are the requirements, or what were your duties as a SWAT officer? Well, first of all, before we get there, I guess what are the requirements to become a SWAT officer?
To become a SWAT officer, you had to have no use of force issues, and then you had to also to pass a physical fitness test, which required a 1.5-mile run, 300-meter sprint, push-ups, so many push-ups in a minute, so many sit-ups in a minute. We had to do a bench press, I believe it was of your own weight at least, and then a leg press. And then we had to do an obstacle course in full SWAT gear.
Did you have any specialized trainings in SWAT, or any specialized training schools in SWAT that you attended?
Yes, after I was hired on with SWAT, then I attended basic SWAT.
What's basic SWAT?
Basic SWAT was like a week long, I believe, and we did things like a lot of building entries and scenarios with barricaded subjects, hostage situations, and active shooters. And we would have scenarios that we'd go through with role players and stuff like that.
In that basic SWAT, your training, did you learn how to determine and respond to a threat?
Yes.
Tell me about what you were taught about that.
Well, a lot of SWAT was learning where your threat areas were in buildings or in houses, and how to move through a house as a team to keep everybody safe and accomplish a goal, ultimately with the main goal is with nobody getting hurt.
Did you do any shooting scenarios in SWAT schools?
Yes, we did go to the range in basic SWAT. We were doing shooting. It was different from the academy in that we were shooting in stacks, so shooting next to each other, shooting over someone's head. We did some scenarios where they set up like their own little obstacle course to go through and shoot at targets, some armed, some not armed, so we had to recognize which target to shoot at.
And when was it that you were doing, I guess as part of being in SWAT, did you have to do any continuous training while you were on the SWAT team?
Yes, we had a training monthly, so once a month we would have a SWAT training with our team. And we would go over those entries, or we'd go to the range, or it was up to the SWAT team leader what training we were going to do that day.
And were you tested on proficiency levels as well during that time?
Yes. Yes, I believe as SWAT officer you had to pass your qualifications with your firearm with a 90 or better.
And I know we've talked pretty extensively about your training so far, but are there any other specialized trainings that you attended besides the academy, the SWAT training, or SWAT school, or the monthly upkeep SWATs?
We had a training where it was an agency came and held the training at our department, and it was for like there's defensive tactics. It was like jujitsu. They were teaching like a jujitsu class, and then knife skills and how to recognize knife threats and how to use a knife.
As a law enforcement officer, what firearms were issued to you? What were issued to you?
I was issued my Glock, a Remington 870, which is a shotgun, and I had we called it a Diablo, and it was basically like an AR-15 with like a short barrel, so it was for SWAT to go into rooms with, not so long of a rifle.
And what are you taught about, what is the role of your sidearm pistol play into you as a law enforcement officer? What do they teach you about that?
Well, they teach us that every scene you go into, there's a gun, because it's your gun. So they drilled that into us at the academy and how to retain your weapon. And there's a lot of defensive drills on how to do that. And they were just always hounding us that there's always a gun on a scene, and it's your gun.
Were you trained on any use of force models?
Yes, we were.
Can you just explain your understanding of the use of force model that you were trained on?
The use of force models, like guidelines on how to react to someone's actions. So there's different levels of reacting to someone acting towards you. So there was anything from just being present as an officer in uniform to a deadly force or non-lethal, or I think the next one was being just more hyper-vigilant. So there was hyper-vigilance, and then there was less lethal, and then there was lethal.
And what did your use of force training teach you about when you were authorized to use deadly force, lethal force?
We were trained to recognize lethal force and then act with lethal force.
With lethal force?
Yes.
So if somebody's yelling, are you allowed to draw your gun?
No.
If somebody's yelling, are you allowed to draw a baton or OC spray?
If someone's just yelling at you, you cannot hit them with a baton or use OC spray.
What if somebody is basically just beating you up?
If someone's beating you up, you could also go hands-on, or then deploy like a less lethal, such as a taser or your OC spray, to diffuse that situation, to stop the action that someone is beating you up.
What if somebody's beating you up but they have a weapon?
Yes, and that's lethal.
Does it matter if it's a knife or a gun? What does your training say about that?
If someone has a knife, we're trained that it's very deadly. We're trained that if someone's coming at you with a knife, to shoot them.
And what about a gun, a firearm?
A firearm is if someone has a gun and they're not complying with your commands, and they're not complying with your commands and are going to act and use that firearm, then yes, lethal force is authorized.
Are you taught about, in the academy, potential threats or somebody who isn't immediately apparent but suspected to be armed?
Yes, we're always taught in the academy how to just be hyper-vigilant, and that, hands can kill you. So we're always trained to, it's always about take your hands out of your pockets, and having people that we're talking to take their hands out of their pockets, because we don't know what's in pockets, or we don't know what's in waistbands, or in jackets. So it was always about recognizing the hands and where they were going on the person's body.
Have you ever heard the phrase holdout gun?
Yes, I have.
What is a holdout gun?
Holdout gun is like a small gun that could be concealed on your person. So if, say, your primary gun malfunctions, jams, then you can resort to another gun that's on your person, either on your leg or in the small of your back, in a holster, or I've known officers that have one in their vest.
Did you have a holdout gun?
I did not.
And any firearms that are issued or that you have whenever you're on duty or in a transport, those would have to be approved, right?
Yes.
What does the term, or what does it mean in your training to terminate or stop a threat?
It means to stop the action, stop the threat that's being presented to you.
In your training, are you taught on a concept called reactionary gap?
Yes, we're taught that there is a time between, like, someone acting is always going to be faster than you reacting to that action.
When did you first learn about this use of force model?
The use of force model was taught to us like the first 2 weeks of orientation into the sheriff's office. So it was one of the first things we learned.
And is it discussed throughout your other trainings that you described to the jury?
Yes, it's like a guideline that's always in our mind that it's situational based, so we're always going through different scenarios in our training, and we're expected to act in accordance to those guidelines with the scenarios that we're presented with.
As a SWAT officer, did you ever go on any call-outs?
Yes, I did.
And what kind of call-outs did you go on as a SWAT officer?
I believe the only call-outs I went out to were barricaded subjects. So someone who claimed they were armed in a house and then did not want to comply with our commands.
And as a law enforcement officer, did you ever hold a different type of job other than the SWAT officer or the patrolman?
After 2 years, I tested to become a warrants agent.
And basically, what were your job duties as a warrants agent?
We were tasked with doing the extraditions, the paperwork for the extraditions, like such as out-of-state transports, and then we were tasked with finding or locating felony warrants, so felons who had active warrants.
Did you have to find violent fugitives as well?
Yes. We worked with different agencies to accomplish those tasks.
And did you handle any situations in your work as a warrants agent that involved, high-stress situations?
Yes. Many times we were given a lot of information of people that have committed violent crimes, and they were armed, they were dangerous, and we had to go locate them, and they were obviously running from the law. So it was just going in, you were already in a hyper-vigilant state because it was a high-stress situation.
How would you describe your job?
It was stressful.
Mr. Chan, I'm going to direct your attention now to Jeremy Martin. Did you attend the same class as Jeremy Martin in the academy?
No, I didn't.
Did you know Jeremy Martin socially?
No, not really. Just, I knew him as like, hi, how's it going in the halls at work, and what's up, stuff like that.
Had you ever worked with Jeremy Martin before?
No, I never worked with him before.
And at some point, did Major Gabriel Gonzalez contact you to do a transport earlier in fall of 2014?
Yes, he did.
What was that transport about?
Well, I was assigned to get the paperwork started for a transport, which involved getting someone out of prison, I believe, in Safford, Arizona, and having him come to Santa Fe to attend court for charges he had in Santa Fe.
And for that transport, do you remember about when it was? What month?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Who were you with on that transport?
I was assigned to be with a deputy named Steve Orr, and...
I'm sorry, who were you transporting?
Oh, we were transporting William Chapman.
And was that transport successful?
Yes, it was. Me and Steve Orr completed picking him up from Safford and bringing him, to Santa Fe.
Did you stay in Safford or in Las Cruces, or was it an overnight?
Yes, we stayed in Safford.
And at that time that you stayed in, did you have any issues with the plan and how you had to stay in Safford during that transport?
That time, picking him up in Safford was difficult because we flew to Tucson from Albuquerque, and then we drove from Tucson to Safford. And then we had to pick up William and then drive to Tucson and then get on a plane and fly with William to Santa Fe. So it was a lot of trouble, and there was a lot of paperwork and flying with your gun, flying armed. And then plus we had William. So the next time we decided it would be easier to drive.
Okay, because you still had to take it back, right?
Right, the agreement was we had to, once he was done with his answering in court, we had to bring him back to Safford.
Several months after that transport, you said is that when you had to bring William Chapman back to Safford? Is it
Yes.
several months after?
Yes, it was a while after.
October of 2014?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about how you got the assignment to take him back.
Well, I was originally, it needed to be the two people that picked him up to bring him back. But I was in training and I got a call from Steve, who I initially went with the first time.
That was Steve Orr, you said?
Steve Orr, yes.
Okay. And was Steve Orr able to do the transport with you, like as planned?
No, he called me and he said he wasn't feeling good and he was going to be out of work for a while because he needed to go to the hospital.
And Corporal Gonzalez, was he able to find a replacement?
Yes, I called him. He was my supervisor at the time, and I informed him that we needed to get William back to Safford because they were asking for him. And he said he would give me somebody to go, get somebody to go with me.
And who did he get to go with you?
Jeremy Martin.
And did you and Jeremy Martin have any communications in coordinating how you were going to get to Safford?
Yes, I believe I texted him and we just were, where are we going to meet, what time, stuff like that.
And whose vehicle did you take?
We took my vehicle.
Did you have any law enforcement gear in the vehicle?
I had all my SWAT equipment, patrol stuff, just all the stuff I had for an everyday work day.
Okay. Did you have any other handguns other than your department issue Glock that you wear on your sidearm?
Yes, I had my shotgun in my car and then my Diablo rifle.
No other handguns though, right?
No, I had no other handguns.
Was your Glock customized in any way?
Yes, I attached a flashlight.
Why did you have that flashlight on there?
I put a flashlight on because I was doing a lot of building entries and home entries to find people that were running from the law for their active warrants. And I found that holding a flashlight and then a firearm, it involved both hands, so I needed my other hand, so it was beneficial to have a flashlight so I could, move shower curtains or move things around in dark areas.
So the morning of October 27th, 2014, what happened that morning?
I was driving to the office. Me and Jeremy said we'd meet there at 6, and dispatch called me and asked me to return a warrant to them that previous weekend there was a double homicide in Santa Fe and the detectives were working it, and I guess one of the detectives did not return an original copy of a warrant that dispatch always keeps record of, so they called me and said, could you please get in the office and return the paperwork to them.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I did that, and that's when I gave it to dispatch, and then I parked in the parking lot, and that's when Jeremy came out of the office.
Okay. Did he have anything with him?
I believe he had a bag. He had a bag.
Okay. And what did you guys do next?
We got in the car and we drove to the jail, which is right across the street from our sheriff's office, and we picked up William.
Who was driving?
I was driving.
Whenever you're driving there, what was the mood like between you and Jeremy?
It was good.
So you picked up, did you have any issues picking up William from the detention center?
No issues.
So on your way to Safford, did you make any stops?
I believe we stopped at Burger King in Bernalillo, and I bought breakfast for everybody. For William and Jeremy and myself.
You guys had breakfast at Burger King?
Yeah, we just got it to go, and then we continued on the road.
Okay. Did you make any other stops?
We stopped at a gas station.
Okay. Was there anything, how many times did you stop at a gas station? Just one?
I believe just once, yes.
Was there anything during the transport that caused you any concern at all?
No, Jeremy made a comment at the gas station that was kind of odd, but I just took it as he was kind of joking, but he said, if you run, I'm going to shoot you to the...
Go ahead, proceed to another question.
What time did you get, so after you dropped, were there any other issues or any other things that on the transport?
No.
So after you dropped off William, what happened next?
After we dropped off William, we both decided to drive to Las Cruces because it was a shorter trip in the morning to Santa Fe, 4 hours instead of driving all the way from Stafford to Santa Fe. And there was more to do here in Las Cruces.
What day of the week was this?
Monday.
What was going on that Monday night?
Football.
What game was going to be on?
The Cowboys game was going to be on.
Did you have a particular team that you were cheering for that game?
Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan.
How did you end up staying at the hotel in Cotta?
Well, it was my idea to, because I went to school here in Las Cruces, so I said we should stay in the hotel in Cotta because it's nearby some bars and some restaurants that we could go to without driving.
Why would you have a concern about driving?
So we both didn't want to drive while we were drinking.
How did you make reservations of being in Cotta?
Well, we went up, we're going to just go into the hotel and see if they had any rooms, but we learned that there were none available. So we went through an app on your cell phone, like hotels.com or something like that, and purchased a room that way, and they were able to give us a room when we purchased it through another party, I guess.
And when you went into the hotel in Cotta, how were you and Mr. Martin dressed?
We were wearing, I was wearing my khaki kind of cargo pants with a polo shirt, and then I had my badge displayed and my sidearm. I don't remember what Jeremy was wearing.
What happened after you checked in?
After we checked in, we went up to the room.
And what did you do once you got to the room?
We changed out of our work clothes and put on more of a civilian attire, and Jeremy asked where you can put your handgun, so I said I'm going to put mine in my bag. I believe it should be safe there. And then Jeremy said, okay, I'm going to put mine in my bag. So upon doing so, he said, look at this gun, look what I have, and he showed me his I believe a 9mm Springfield small holdout gun, and I was like, oh, that's cool, nice. And then we proceeded to leave.
Okay, so Jeremy had two guns that you saw, right?
Yes, he also had a Glock, and then he showed me that gun.
Can you describe for the jury what the second gun, not the Glock, but the smaller gun, what did that gun look like?
It was smaller, thinner. It was in a brown holster. I believe it was a concealed carry holster. So it's like an in the waistband holster.
And then you said that you both decided it was appropriate to put your firearms in your bags, right? And leave them there in the room.
Yes, we both decided that was okay.
And you put your gun in your bag as well, right?
Yes, I did.
In your gun, it had a magazine and how many bullets at that time?
My gun had 15 rounds.
Can you tell me what your routine is for loading the magazine?
Well, my routine is I would load 15 rounds into my magazine and then insert it into my firearm and then rack around, so put a round in the chamber. And some officers would put 15 rounds in the magazine, insert the magazine into the gun, rack around, and then take the magazine out and then put an extra bullet in the magazine and then insert the magazine in the gun. So they would have the full 15 round magazine and then an extra round in the chamber. But I didn't do that. That wasn't my practice.
I'm going to go into the beginning of that evening. Where did you and Jeremy Martin go to first?
We went to Farley's.
And what did you do at Farley's?
We drank some beer and we were playing pool.
Do you know how many beers you drank?
think it was like 2 or 3.
Do you remember how many beers Jeremy Martin drank?
It was the same.
So at that point, you and Jeremy Martin drank the same amount of beers?
Yes, we drank the same amount of beers.
How long were you out for at least?
1 or 2 hours.
Was there anything unusual about that part of the evening?
No, we were having fun.
Where did you go to next?
Next, I believe we walked to De La Vega's, just kind of by the mall. And we went in and there was nobody there and it seemed dead. So we just kind of like walked in and looked in and said, no, we don't want to stay here. So we left.
Did either you or Jeremy Martin have any alcohol, anything to drink at De La Vegas?
No, we did not.
Where did you go to next?
Next, we decided to go to Hooters.
And are you walking to all these places right
Yes,
now?
yeah, we're walking.
So next you went to Hooters. Was it, at this point, was it still dark outside? Do you know about what time it was? I'm sorry, was it still light outside?
Yeah.
Do you know what time it was?
It was still light. I think it was around 6:30.
At any point did you watch any part of the football game?
Yes, when we went to Hooters, we sat down and we ordered some wings. I think we each ordered some wings and then we got a pitcher of beer and watched the Cowboys game.
And the wings and the pitcher of beer, other than that, did you have anything else to eat or drink at Hooters?
No, I don't believe so.
And at this point, is it just you and Jeremy Martin, or are there other people with you?
It's just me and Jeremy.
And with the pitcher of beer and the wings, did you share those equally, or who consumed what?
We each ordered our own wings and then we shared the pitcher equally, I remember.
You remember that? Okay. Was there anything unusual about this?
No, nothing.
No?
Nothing unusual.
Where did you go to next?
Next, we went back to the hotel, I think it's called Club Azul, at the bar there. And we were talking to the bartender and we were still watching the Cowboys game. Yeah, there was a small TV.
And how long were you in Azul?
I don't recall. We were there and talking to the bartender and he said that there was some event downstairs at the pool area. It was like a vodka something, so we went down to see what it was, to check it out. And it was really formal and it didn't seem like we belonged there, so we both decided to go back up to the bar.
Okay, so you went back up to Azul.
Yes.
And what did you decide to do next?
I decided to call my buddy Josh and see if he wanted to hang out and maybe take us to a different bar that had more people.
Okay. And did you have any more drinks while you went back to Azul?
I remember when I called Josh and he said he was going to come pick us up, that we went to Garduño's, which is still an hotel, and we had a Jaeger bomb.
Okay, just to be clear, who went to Garduño's in the hotel?
Me and Jeremy.
Okay. And who drank what there?
I believe we both got a Jaeger bomb.
And then where did Josh end up picking you guys up at?
Right there in the front of the hotel.
When Josh arrived, was anybody with him?
Yes, Ian was with him.
And so at that point, did you decide where you guys were all going to go?
Yes, we all decided to go to Dublin's.
On the drive to Dublin's, do you recall what the mood was like at this point?
Yeah, it was like joking and picking fun and happy, I would say happy.
Okay. You mentioned a little bit of picking, what'd you say? Picking
Like
fun?
picking fun.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Jeremy was calling me names. He was saying I was a faggot and that I just came out of the closet. But I just took it as joking. I was kind of just like, okay, man, like, we're just having fun.
Did you get upset at all?
No, I didn't get upset.
What was the level of intoxication at that point of you?
I was buzzed. I was feeling good.
Okay. Oh, and so when you got to Dublin's, what happened there?
At Dublin's, we just went and sat at a table near the bar, and we started talking and started making small talk with Josh and Ian, who I hadn't seen in a long time.
Did anybody else join you that evening at Dublin's?
Yes, I texted my cousin Art and my cousin Nicole, who were going to school here, but my cousin Art he had studies, and Nicole said she was in a meeting, but she would come and join us when she was done.
And while you were at Dublin's, do you recall how much you had to drink there and what you were drinking?
I remember I was drinking Red Bull and vodka, and we had shots of Fireball. I don't remember how much.
Do you remember if Jeremy Martin was drinking?
Yes, Jeremy Martin was drinking.
Do you remember what he was drinking?
I want to say he had some Fireball and some Red Bull and vodkas, but I'm not sure.
Okay. So at some point, Nicole arrives, right?
Correct.
Okay. Does any time at Dublin the mood between you and Jeremy change?
Yes.
Can you describe that to the jury?
Well, we were sitting at the table, and Jeremy brought up the double homicide, and he was talking about...
Response to your section.
Approach the bench. Going to sustain the objection. Ms. Garcia, I'm going to ask you to rephrase your questions.
Yes, sir. So you said at some point the mood at Dublin changed between you and Jeremy Martin. And you were having a conversation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe what your feelings were, what your mental and emotional condition was in that, as a result of the conversation, the argument you were having with him?
Well, we were having a conversation, and it was kind of getting, like, escalating and getting heated. So I said a comment, and I said, you shot those kids, and he got really angry, and I was trying to just diffuse the situation, and it was about double homicide, but I said it to kind of de-escalate the situation, and he took it really personally and got mad, and he left shortly after.
Were you aware whether Jeremy Martin was one of the first responders on that double homicide that you were talking to him about?
I believed he was.
On I'm sorry, I didn't even hear the objection. What objection are you making?
Relevancy, Judge. And speculation as well.
Overruled. Go ahead and restate the question. Listen, and again, Mr. Chan, listen to the question, only respond to it. Don't start adding things to it. That's what makes it difficult and then leads to other objections.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and restate the question, Ms. Garcia.
Sure. In your, I believe the setup was you were talking to Jeremy about this double homicide that had happened in Santa Fe, right?
Yes.
And you said that you made a statement to him that you killed those kids, right?
Yes.
And that your statement to him was you were trying to de-escalate the situation. He took it the wrong way.
Yes, he took it the wrong way. There was no way he could have killed those kids. I was just, making a comment to kind of just get him to kind of laugh and be like, yeah, right, But he did not take it that way, and he got noticeably upset and just didn't want to talk to me anymore and when I left.
In retrospect, how do you feel about making that comment? How do you feel that comment was?
It wasn't a nice thing to say, but I wasn't doing it to really imply what I was saying.
Did you literally think that Jeremy Martin was responsible for anybody's murder?
No.
And you said Jeremy left at that point, right?
Yes, he left the bar.
How long was Jeremy gone?
I don't really recall. I remember it was a long time, and that's when I sent him a text.
What did you text to him?
Where are you, bro?
You said he was gone for kind of a long time?
Yes.
Did you know where he went?
No, I didn't know where he went.
When Jeremy came back, were you concerned about where he was?
Yes, I was concerned.
And when Jeremy came back, did you tell him anything?
Yes, he came back and he said, are we cool?
What was Jeremy's demeanor like when he came back?
He just didn't like me. He was just looking at me. And he was like, I'm cool. And I was like, no, are we cool? He said, I'm cool.
And at any time there at Pestilence, did this argument between you ever get physical?
No, it didn't.
Did it ever rise to the level of yelling at each other?
No, it didn't.
Do you remember a manager coming over at any point?
Yes, well, I left the table and went to the bar. And to just, separate myself from Jeremy, because it was anything I said wasn't de-escalating the situation. So I went to the bar and then he approached me. And
did you and Jeremy have another conversation there at the bar?
yes, we did.
Did you do anything to try to apologize or make it right with Jeremy?
Yes, I was kind of mad at that point. I was like, I can't believe you would actually think I was implying that you shot those kids. I was saying, I think you're a good cop, man. I can't believe you would think that.
Without saying what he said, what was Jeremy Martin's response to that?
At that point, he was kind of shaking his head, okay, and then it kind of felt like we were getting, making up.
And at some point, I guess, when did the manager come over in relation to that?
Shortly after that conversation, he said we needed to quiet down. We were like, sorry, we didn't mean to disturb anything.
Okay. And at some point, was there a decision made to leave Douglas?
Yes, Josh and Ian had already left, and Nicole said that we should leave because she would give us a ride.
Okay, so Josh had left earlier.
Yes, Josh and Ian.
While you were at Douglas, did you see if Jeremy Martin switched and started drinking water?
Yes, I had noticed that he stopped drinking water. He stopped drinking and started drinking water, and
What about you? Did you drink more alcohol or did you switch to water?
I continued to drink alcohol.
So Nicole drove you. Where did she drive you?
She drove us back to the hotel.
When you were leaving, what was the demeanor like in the car? What was the mood like in the car?
It was happy. I was happy. I was like, I think I was telling Nicole, I love you and thank you for bringing us home, and like, I didn't mean to put you out of your schoolwork.
And what happened when you got to the hotel?
We got to the hotel. I remember Jeremy helping me out of the truck.
You do remember that?
Yeah, I kind of remember it.
What do you remember thinking in that moment?
I remember thinking, I really don't need it, but I wasn't gonna like refuse the help, so I just kind of went along.
And what happened when you went into the hotel?
We went on the elevator and went up to the room.
What happened when you went into the room?
We went in the room.
Well, first of all, when you walked into the room, can you just, about what time was this? Do you remember at all?
I don't remember.
Okay. So tell the jury what happened when you went into the room.
Excuse me. We went in the room and he brought up the double homicide again.
What was just your response to that?
I was thinking, like, why are we arguing about this again? Like, it didn't really matter to me. It was something I wasn't involved in. I don't know how much he was involved in it, but I was just confused that we were still on the topic when I thought we had resolved it at the bar.
And what was Jeremy's demeanor like without saying what he was telling you?
He started to get upset, like really upset, and he started pushing me, and he swung and tried to kick me in the balls, and I kind of blocked it with my leg, and then he was just so angry, and I was really confused, and then he stormed into the bathroom.
What was going through your mind there after you'd just been pushed and he tried to kick you in the groin there?
Yeah, it was odd. I was thinking, well, I don't know what's going on. This is so weird. So I just left. I ran out of the room. And
Did you ever at that moment get physical with Jeremy back?
No.
And during this time, Jeremy's telling you things without telling them what he said. I think I asked you that. He said he was upset, right? Angry?
Right, yes.
And so at that point you said you ran out of the hotel room?
So I ran out of the room, and then we went down the elevator and went down to the lobby and ran out of the hotel and ran across the street, went to like that area where the bank is and Golden Corral and that area, Sonic, I believe.
When Jeremy had tried to kick you, can you describe that for the jury? Was it with his foot or with his knee?
It was with his foot. He just kind of like swung his foot, and I kind of blocked it with my leg, and he was pushing me and getting real and angry. It was just confusing. It was like all of a sudden and like just confusing.
At this point, were you scared at this point?
I was scared, and the comments he was making.
How did the comments that he was making make you feel? What was going on in your mind based on what he was telling you?
I was just so confused, and I didn't know like if this is how he's acting just because he was drinking or something. Yeah, I just was chalking it up to the alcohol. Like this is how he gets when he drinks. So I was scared, and I ran out. It wasn't making sense. I ran, and
What wasn't making sense?
just the way he was acting in the room. It was odd.
Was what he was saying making sense?
No.
So when you're outside in that area you described to the jury, what did you do?
I called Lea.
And Leah's your wife, right? We heard from her earlier.
Yes.
What did you tell Lea?
I remember telling her that Jeremy said he was going to frame me for murder, and I was so confused, and I was just in shock, like what was going on, and just kind of I was kind of contemplating what was going on that happened, and also kind of relaying it to Lea, so it was kind of like all over the place.
Did you describe to her how Jeremy was acting?
Yeah, I said, it was odd, and it's scary.
At that point, if it was odd, if you were scared and confused, why didn't you call 911 at that point?
Well, because I didn't want to get anybody in trouble for, just this, us drinking this night, and we had to work the next day together. We had to drive back to Santa Fe. I was thinking that he was just drunk and acting crazy, so I didn't want to get anybody in trouble.
And we saw the videos that were presented through Detective Paulus. Was that the area that you were at?
Yes.
It showed you running through there?
Yes.
At some point, did Jeremy Martin come and find you?
Yes. I don't remember where he found me. I remember he found me.
Can you tell me about that interaction when he found you outside? Or were you outside when he found you? Where were you?
I don't remember. I believe I was... I don't remember.
And what was that interaction like with you?
He was saying like, "I love you, man," and I was like, "I love you, bro," and he was like, kind of like he was making up with me, like, come back to the room. So I was like, okay, I guess everything's okay now, like everything's fixed, or we got to work it out up in the room. But he kind of like was just, I felt like he was apologizing to me, so I went back to the room.
So you and Jeremy both, did you ride the elevator together?
Yes.
And you went back into the room?
Yes.
What was the lighting like when you walked into the room?
It was dim.
And what did you do when you walked into the room?
I went into the bathroom.
What did you do in the bathroom?
I don't remember, but I remember talking to Lea on the phone. I don't remember if she called me or if I called her, but I remember talking to Lea on the phone, and I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but we were talking about what had just happened, and I believe I told her that he tried kicking me in the balls, or kicked me in the balls.
What was Leah's reaction on the phone? What was her state of her condition?
It seemed like she didn't know what was going on, and she was just like, "What?" And he's just saying like, "Do you need me to go down there right now?" and stuff like that. We were both kind of just confused.
Okay. So you were in the bathroom. Why did you go to the bathroom when you first walked in?
Well, because Lea was, I believe she was calling me, so I wanted to talk to Lea in private. So I went in the bathroom.
And was the door locked to the bathroom behind you?
I don't remember.
What happened next?
There's pounding on the bathroom door, and I heard, "Open the fucking door, open the fucking door." And at that point I was like, "What's going on?" And then Lea started freaking out on the phone, so I was like, calm down. Everything's gonna be okay. And I kind of went into, like, I guess, cop mode.
So what was your reaction to the banging on the door and hearing those statements, "Open the fucking door"?
It was kind of like, he was really aggressive, like, "Open the fucking door." So I was like, kind of like in shock, but didn't know why he was being so aggressive all of a sudden and wanted me to come out. So I opened the door and I said, sit down, because I wanted him to go and sit down in the chair by the desk and we could talk about whatever issue we had.
Did he sit down?
No, he walked to the desk in the chair. He was starting to walk that way, and he turned around, and I noticed he had a handgun in his hand, and he said, "I'm going to shoot you."
Can you describe when Jeremy said, "I'm going to shoot you," and he had the gun in his hand? What did his face look like?
He had his stare. I'll never forget the way he looked at me. It was like he was just a blank stare, no emotion, no anything, and he said, "I'm going to shoot you." And then he pointed the gun at me, and I was like, this is it. I think I was like in shock. And I don't know if I was walking at that point. I don't know if he was walking. I was just like stunned. I was like, it just happened so fast. I was stunned.
And what was going through your mind?
He's going to shoot me. It was just so all of a sudden, just all of a sudden, I guess that's how the best I can describe it, just quick. And then I remember just getting hit in the face, and I remember just going black. And I fell to the floor, and I remember just the floor and the carpet, and trying to orient myself, and I remember just getting hit. And I knew he had the gun, and I don't remember where it was. I just remember saying I got to get the gun. So I reached up and I grabbed the gun and I was like, oh, I have the gun. Oh no, that's not. I reached up and then a shot went off.
You said you reached up and a shot went off?
I was reaching for the gun, trying to get the gun, and I just heard a loud bang. It was like a loud bang and a ringing in my ears, and then it was happening so fast, and then I grabbed the gun, and then I grabbed the gun, and I was like, I have the gun. So then I went down with the gun as hard as I could down to the ground, and then I was able to get the gun, so I was like, I have the gun. In my mind I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got the gun. And then I just got up and I started shooting.
Mr. Chan, can you describe that? Do you know where Jeremy Martin was hitting you at?
After that first hit, it was black, and then I hit the floor, and it was just so chaotic at that point. And then when the shot went off, it was so fast and crazy and chaotic.
What were you thinking after hearing that first shot go off?
I was thinking, I don't remember having any. It was just, I'm like, he's gonna kill me. Like he tried to kill me, and I don't know if I was hit. It was just so much. I don't know if I can explain, like that adrenaline and that just being in that situation is, you just can't explain it.
When the first shot went off, was that before you had control of the gun?
Before I had control of the gun, yes, the shot went off. Yes.
How were you able to get the gun out of his hand after that first shot went off?
I remember I grabbed the gun and I turned it, I just had it, and I was like, I'm going to turn this down as hard as I possibly could towards the ground so it would break over. So I just turned the gun down as hard as I could to the ground, and I got control of the gun, and then I got up and I started, I don't know if I was shooting on the ground or I got up and I started shooting.
When you started shooting, what were you seeing?
At that point it was just like blurry shooting. I remember seeing his body. But then I turned down the hall and I was shooting down the hall, and then I realized, oh, he's running away. He's running away now. I can stop. So then I stopped shooting.
And this, did you even remember, do you know where this fight took place?
At that time, I didn't know. It was so chaotic, and once I got hit initially, it was just chaos.
Do you remember hearing all of the shots that you fired?
I remember the initial loud bang before I had the gun, and then after that, I remember the kick of my gun, and that was it.
And after you got the gun from Jeremy, I guess whenever you were shooting in the hallway, do you ever remember seeing Jeremy go down to the ground?
No.
Do you know if any of your shots hit him?
I didn't know. I didn't think I was hitting him. I just saw him running away, and then I stopped shooting. I knew he had the small gun that he could return fire at me or shoot at me. So I just shot down the hallway, so I was scared that if I was going to stop shooting, that he was going to just return fire with another gun.
And when do you remember stopping your fire?
I remembered him running, and then me thinking, oh, he's running away, and then stopping, and then I remember running and saying, sheriff's office, and then I was thinking, the best thing to do is hide in a room, because then no one will find me. So I was banging on doors saying, sheriff's office, because I was going to hide in someone's room, and then he wouldn't be able to find me. It was like the best thing I thought of at that time.
Why didn't you want Jeremy to find you?
Because I thought he was going to kill me. He was going to shoot at me.
Were you still scared of the shot?
I was terrified.
Did you ever see any blood at any time?
No, I never saw any blood.
Did you ever see Jeremy, I guess, at what point, were you able to tell the jury how long you think it lasted from when you saw him holding the gun, saying, "I'm going to shoot you," through the time that you were fighting for control of the gun, and then finally when you no longer perceived Jeremy in the hall?
It was weird. It was like so fast, but it was like I was thinking slow. So it was like so quick, and then but my thought process seemed slow.
And going back a little bit to whenever you first saw that gun, let's see, after the shots, what do you remember? You said you were going through the hall yelling sheriff's office and banging on doors?
Yes, I was banging on doors trying to get in someone's room.
Do you remember yelling anything else?
I don't.
How were you feeling? Did anybody open the doors that you remember?
I was thinking, nobody's helping me, nobody's helping me, nobody's helping me in this, and I was just like in shock that no one was opening the door for me. I understand now why. At that time, I was like, no one's helping me.
How did you feel just being there in the hallway?
Vulnerable. I felt like there were so many threats in that hallway, so many places to hide. I was just running frantically
What do you
in the
mean by
hallway.
places to hide? You ended up in the stairwell, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you mean by you thought it was dangerous and so many places to hide?
Like any of those rooms had that were inset, so anywhere in between there, someone could be hiding and ambush you.
You mean like cover?
Cover, yes.
Do you know where Jeremy Martin went when he disappeared down that hall?
No, I didn't know where he went.
Did you ever see Jeremy Martin later downstairs in the elevator?
No, I never saw him. I just was running, and I remember running down the hallway, and I remember thinking I'm covering my head with my gun, with my barrel, but I was like, I don't care, and I found the staircase.
Do you remember seeing anybody in the hallway?
I don't remember seeing anybody in the hallway, no.
Do you remember if you were wearing shoes?
I don't remember.
Now the black Pumas that were found in a picture, do you remember those black Pumas? Were those yours?
Yes.
And the brown shoes in the bathroom, were those yours also?
Yes.
Do you remember being arrested in your socks?
I don't remember.
You said at this point you're running and you went to the stairway, right?
Yes, I ran up the stairway.
Like this, right?
Yes.
Can you describe generally where you were? This is State's Exhibit 29.
I was sitting kind of on the top stair, facing the door, holding the door. I had...
Was it up here?
No.
Was it down here?
Yes.
You were sitting right here?
Yes.
And you were facing the door?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you another angle. State's Exhibit 10. Is this where you were sitting?
Yes.
Okay. And where's the door in this picture?
It's kind of straight ahead and to the left.
Over here?
Yes.
So you went to the stairwell. Why did you go to the stairwell?
When I saw the stairwell, when I was running and I opened the door to the stairwell, I was like, oh, I can get out the latch and hide up there. And I tried and I couldn't. So then I turned around right there and I assessed that I had the threat up the stairs and then the threat of the door. So I sat down on those stairs and I was holding that position and I was holding my gun on the door and I was shaking to the point where I could not control my gun. It was like, the only way I can describe it is like in horror movies when you see people just shaking with terror. I never thought that was a real thing, and I believe that is definitely a real thing. It was just, I could not stabilize myself, and I was just sitting there holding the door and hoping that no one would come in.
You had talked about, having a stressful work-related situation. Was that, and being in fear, how would you describe your emotional state that night in comparison to, have you ever felt like that before?
Never.
At some point, did you hear law enforcement?
Yes. I heard them and I was happy. I was like, oh, they're here.
Were you ever trying to avoid detection from law enforcement?
No, I was calling out as soon as I heard them.
Do you remember hearing a dog?
Yes.
And what were you calling out, and why were you calling out?
I was just yelling, sheriff's office, letting them know I was there. And I was just holding the door, and I was like, I gotta hold this door for them, to protect them now also.
What were you afraid of? Were you concerned for the officer's safety?
Yes, I was afraid Jeremy was gonna come to that door and start shooting.
And officers eventually found you up there, and describe for the jury what you recall about about the commands they were giving you and what you did there.
Well, they were commanding me, and I was just trying to, comply with the commands and do whatever they told me. So I was trying to I wanted to let them know that I had a gun, because that's really important. And I wanted them to not see me like holding a gun, so I went up and I put the gun down. And then I said, I have a gun up here, and then I was complying with their commands.
Were you ever trying to hide anything from the officers?
No.
What's your badge number?
7111.
And what was your room number that night?
711.
On the audio here, on the Cosper audio, you yelling out both of those. Can you explain that to the jury?
It was a lot of chaos, and I was trying to answer the questions that they were asking me. I was so in shock, I was so adrenaline and drunk. I was just trying to convey as best as I could, the information they were asking.
And we heard in the audio, and you would agree some of the statements you made on that sounded a little bizarre, a little crazy, right?
Yes.
What was your emotional state at that point when you were saying those things?
Oh, just terrified for everyone's safety. I was trying to convey that. It sounded crazy.
Why did you say there was a bomb?
Because when they handcuffed me and they were bringing me down, and I was trying to convey, like, be careful, don't go in there, and everybody was kind of like nonchalant walking around and not really paying attention to me. So at that time, I thought it was a good idea to say there's a bomb, to get everybody in like a state of more vigilance and being careful. I want everyone to be careful, and I realized that it was a dumb thing to say, but I just was looking out for everyone's safety. That's all. That was what I was concerned about.
At that point, did you believe you were still intoxicated?
Yes.
At that point, did you know whether any of your shots actually hit Jeremy?
No, I didn't.
Did you know where Jeremy was?
I thought he was still in the hotel.
When were you first made aware that Jeremy Martin was actually shot?
It was when the detectives talked to me 5 or 6 hours after.
While you were detained?
Yes.
And you also mentioned guns. You were saying they have guns. They never put you out. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Who were you referring to there? What were you trying to convey there?
Just the level of danger I just faced. Like, I was just in a fight for my life, like a fight for my survival. And the person that tried to kill me I thought was still up there.
When you were telling the officers that you were scared for them, was that genuine?
Yes.
Tai, when you and Jeremy Martin returned to the hotel.
Objection, Your Honor. I asked the counsel to use formal.
Again, it's a felony. It's a adult proceeding. Last name, so.
Mr. Chan, when you and Jeremy Martin returned to the hotel from drinking that night, did you have a plan to kill him?
No, not at all.
Did you have any motivation to murder Jeremy Martin at any point in that night?
No.
Did you have any intent to shoot him in the back?
No.
Do you even know where your shots landed?
No.
What was your motivation for pulling the trigger and firing at Jeremy?
He tried to kill me. It was survival. I was fighting for my life.
You have a second, Matt?
Go ahead.
Pass the witness.
Thank you. Mr. D'Antonio, cross-examination of Mr. Chan.
Good afternoon, Chan.
Good afternoon.
Is it true on October 27th, 2014, using your service pistol you shot at Deputy Martin at least 5 times while in room 711 at the Hotel Encanto in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yes, I shot at Martin.
And isn't it true that after expending those rounds, you walked into the hallway of the Cotta Hotel, you took aim, and you shot at Deputy Martin 5 more times?
I was not walking.
You ran into the hall and shot Deputy Martin 5 times.
I was running and I shot down the hallway, yes.
And it's true, sir, you have to admit you shot Deputy Martin in the back while he was running away.
I shot Jerry Martin, yes.
My full question, sir, is, isn't it true that you shot Deputy Martin in the back while he was running away?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
And it is also true that you shot Deputy Martin in the back without seeing a weapon in his hand. Is that right?
All I didn't see his hands, I just saw him, like his body.
Did you see a weapon in Jerry Martin's hand before you shot him?
No, but I knew he had other weapons. One he could have had hidden.
There'll be an opportunity for your attorney to come and ask you some additional questions. But I admonished you earlier, listen to the question, respond to the question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Mr. Chan,
And so if there was any confusion over that last question, you can repeat it.
is it true you shot Deputy Martin even though you saw no weapon in his hand?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you shot Deputy Martin dead on the mere possibility that he may have had a weapon on his person?
Yes.
Now, you've learned through court testimony that, in fact, Deputy Martin had no weapons on him. Is that right?
I learned that later, yes.
And in the hallway, did Deputy Martin ever fire back at you?
No.
Did he ever pull out a gun and aim at you?
No.
Now, sir, given the powerful handgun you carried and the amount of bullets you fired, 10, isn't it true your intention was to kill Officer Martin that night?
No, my intention was to stop him from killing me.
In fact, in the very early morning hours of October 28, 2014, you shot and killed your fellow deputy. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Overruled, he's already responded. But again, try not to repeat questions, please.
This right. Now, you talked in direct examination about your training, which was extensive. Is that right?
Yes.
And you liked that training and were good at it. Is that also true?
Yes, sir.
And you're particularly good at firearms training and use of force training. Is that also correct?
Yes, sir.
And in addition to your basic training, police academy training, you also had many hours of SWAT training. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's special weapons and tactics. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true within the Santa Fe Sheriff's Department that that is kind of the pinnacle of people who could shoot for the rest of the con? That's where they go, right?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Is it true that the best of the best go to SWAT?
Yes.
And the firearms training is extensive. Is that right?
Yes.
And the use of force policy, as outlined by the Santa Fe Sheriff's Department, is taught over and over again, right?
Yes.
Drilled into your mind.
Yes.
You're also told in your training, both in SWAT and Police Academy, that you need to be hyper-vigilant in dangerous situations. Is that also correct? Hyper-vigilant.
Yes.
Because you know, and the rest of your deputies know, that hyper-vigilant, when you're hyper-vigilant, you keep keep you and your colleagues safe. Is that right?
Yes.
That's why it's so important to be hyper-vigilant. Is that right?
Yes.
It's important in stressful situations as a law enforcement officer to know your surroundings when you're under stress. Isn't that true?
Yes.
We also taught that if there's a possibility of an injury due to shooting, then you are duty bound to give first aid any possible victim. Is that right?
I was taught, if possible.
If possible, yeah, of course, if possible. If it's impossible, obviously you can't do it. Now, were you ever trained specifically to intentionally shoot a fleeing subject in the back?
Overruled. It's cross-examination.
I was taught to stop an action.
So the question was, were you ever trained in either SWAT or police academy to specifically and intentionally shoot someone in the back?
No.
In fact, you were trained to use deadly force until such time as the danger was over or abated. That's correct, right?
Yes.
And you were never trained to shoot an unarmed man simply because you wanted to go home. Isn't that also true?
I'm going to sustain the objection, but ask you to rephrase the question.
Were you ever trained to shoot an unarmed man?
Ask and answer, Judge.
Sustain.
Let's talk about the Santa Fe County Sheriff's standard operating procedures. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
And isn't it a fact that you're duty bound to know those procedures inside and out?
Yes.
And if you don't know them and you get in trouble, you can't use lack of knowledge as a defense. Isn't that also true?
Judge Henry's asking for a legal.
Sustain.
Are you familiar with the term SOP?
Yes.
Okay. What does that mean to you?
Standard operating procedure.
So if I ask you a question regarding SOP, I'm talking about Santa Fe Sheriff's Office standard operating procedures. Is it SOP that you shall carry and use your weapon in a careful and prudent manner?
I don't recall.
Is it the SOP to protect the lives of the public?
You're asking about a specific SOP you showed before.
He's referring to the Santa Fe standard operation.
Only if you know, Judge.
I'm overruling the objection if there actually was one. Go ahead.
Can you ask again, please?
Is it SOP to protect the lives of the public?
Yes, I would say yes.
Now, are you aware that according to your generals of conduct, you have a duty and a moral obligation to live by a certain code? Is that right?
Yes.
And that code includes a fundamental duty to serve mankind. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And are you aware of the duty to safeguard lives?
Yes.
And are you aware of the duty to maintain courage in the face of danger?
Yes.
Are you also aware of constantly be mindful of the welfare of others?
Yes.
And last, are you aware that you never employ unnecessary force of violence? You never employ unnecessary use of force of violence.
Yes.
Now, on the night of October 27th, 2014, around midnight, did you meet those obligations?
I was in a fight for my life. I was trying to save my life.
Is that answer no or yes?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. On the night of October October 27, 2014, in the early morning hours of October 28, 2014, did you meet those aforementioned obligations? I'll go with what obligations if you'd like me to. The obligation to do this right here.
Antonio, let him see if he can answer.
Yes, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So it's your sworn testimony that you upheld and followed those fundamental rules of conduct that I just mentioned.
I believe that I shot to save my life.
Did you maintain coverage in the face of danger?
Yeah, yes.
Were you constantly mindful of the welfare of others?
I tried to be, yes.
Did you safeguard lives that night?
I tried to, yes.
Did you fulfill your fundamental duty to serve mankind?
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you a little about the use of force policy that is in practice by the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office. Is it true that SOP is that you only apply deadly force when there's a serious threat of bodily injury or threat to your life?
Yes.
And you only apply the force until the action that is providing that possible danger of theft or death is stopped. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, do those rules change if you're nervous?
No, they don't.
Do those rules change if you're scared?
No, they don't.
Now, the object of any use of force is to overcome a suspect or a target's resistance. Is that right?
Yes, to stop the threat. Stop great bodily harm or injury.
And
Or
you're
death.
trained.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No problem. And you are trained over and over again, told in many different ways that you should avoid unnecessary or excessive application of force. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you, as you sit there, know the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office's definition of excessive use of force?
By heart? No.
Mr. Chen, don't let your voice drop too much. I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Now,
Ask the question again. I didn't hear
I
a response.
asked this Mr. Chan, do you know, as you sit right there, your past offices, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office, definition of excessive force?
I don't believe I could recite it verbatim.
Is it basically if force is excessive when its application is appropriate to your circumstances, resulting in serious physical injury or death?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right?
That sounds correct, yes.
And according to the Santa Fe manual or operating procedures, the use of excessive force is seen through the factor of reasonableness. Is that also true?
Yes, sir.
In other words, it's not actually what the officer does at any given time and place. It's what a reasonable officer would do in that time and place. Is that also correct?
Yes, sir.
And that depends on sometimes the severity of the crime, the nature and extent of threat, and degree of resistance. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Now, according to the department policy as well, when reasonable, you have a duty to give verbal warnings before you shoot an individual. Is that right?
Can you say that again?
Yes, sir, sure. It is your office, your uniform officer's policy that when feasible, deputies shall give verbal warnings before they take a shot at anyone.
When feasible, yes.
And that, you see, means stop, hold, don't move, I'll shoot, things of that nature, right?
Correct.
Did you give any such commands before shooting at Deputy Martin?
Objection, Your Honor. Oral.
No.
In Deputy, your Sheriff's Office policy clearly states that it is forbidden at any time to use any type of deadly force when lesser force could be used. Is that also true?
Yes.
And is it also not true that the golden rule, when regards to engaging with deadly force, is that when in doubt, don't shoot? Isn't that the golden rule?
I don't know if it's a golden rule, but I would agree.
And there's also a policy that when the use of force is used under any circumstances, you're obligated to call in and tell your commander or your supervisor. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, have you heard of the term with regards to firearms as pray and spray?
Yes.
And what does that mean to you?
Just shooting. I know.
Pardon my question.
Yes, go ahead.
Would you agree that the term spray and pray is a term for firing a firearm in the general direction of a target, but made no effort to line the target up? Have you heard that?
Yes.
Now, at any time during the 27th to 28th, did you ever use your firearm in the method of pray and spray?
I would agree. I was shooting out of fear and sheer terror. I would say it was pretty sporadic, yeah.
And you know as a deputy that that type of shooting is never authorized in a public location, don't you?
I was fighting for my life.
And it's not authorized because your primary concern is the welfare of the public in and around the hotel. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Because they don't have a gun to defend themselves, so they rely on you. Is that also true?
Yes.
Now, as we talked about, you were a proud member of the Santa Fe SWAT team, and you qualified for the team, that's right?
I qualified the team?
Qualified to be on the team.
Yes, sir.
And is the team the right term?
Yes.
Okay. And you train with the team, correct?
Yes.
And you clearly, I assume you understood the concept of special weapons and tactics?
Yes.
And you trained at least 8 hours a month to hone your skills? Is that also correct?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that you have 200 hours, you had, at the time of your departure from the Sheriff's Office, 200 hours of specialized SWAT training?
You say that, yes.
And while SWAT members engage in their duty, they're required to constantly evaluate and update their operational tactics and procedures. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's very important for SWAT members to have a high degree of emotional stability and be able to maintain a high stress, be able to maintain stability in a high stress environment. Isn't that also true?
Yes.
And your SWAT training prepared you for dealing with high-stress situations, is that right?
Yes.
Is it also fair to say that your SWAT training, I think you mentioned indirect, trained you how to properly respond to active shooter situations?
Yes.
And in your work in the past, you have actually encountered folks with guns and handled very dangerous situations, is that right?
Yes.
So when you were the transport with Deputy Martin, how many hours did you spend in the car when you were driving from Santa Fe to Stafford, and from Stafford to Las Cruces?
I can't say exactly, but around maybe 7 or 8 hours, 7 hours.
And then you both decided to hang out together, is that right?
Yes.
And is it fair to say when you're working with a fellow officer like Deputy Martin, you're responsible for having his badge and he's responsible for having your badge?
Yes, I can say that.
And would you risk your life for a fellow deputy?
Yes.
And would you risk your life for a civilian in the line of duty?
Yes, I like to hope so, yes.
You testified on direct that you went out the night of the 27th. You were with Deputy Martin and some very good friends. At least Josh was a very good friend. You were out there a good time, right?
Yes.
And in fact, is it fair to say that at the end of the day, you did have a good time, right?
Yes. When we left Dublin, it was a good time.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Now, clearly there was some tense moments during that night, but when you left the hotel, you left with a friendly manner, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you and Deputy Martin had made up or kind of put aside your past differences. Is that true?
Yes, that's how I felt when we left Dublin.
Then you go back in the hotel, and you testified that the mood slightly changed. Is that right?
Yes.
And you thought Mr. Martin was giving you, Deputy Martin was giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
And when he gave you a hard time, you decided to make a walk outside and kind of calm things down, right?
Yes, I ran outside and trying to figure out what was going on, yes.
And then eventually Deputy Martin came and found you.
Yes.
And did you guys settle things and kind of make up at that point?
That's how I took it, yes. That's how he was presenting himself to me, yes. That's how I felt, yes.
And so you went back upstairs. Now, you told Mr. Tafoya that at some point in the night, Deputy Martin had kicked you in the balls and punched you in the face. Now, before making that call, or receiving a call from Mr. Tafoya, did in fact Deputy Martin punch you in the face?
I don't remember saying that to Mr. Tafoya. I remember saying kick me in the balls.
When you returned to the room after Deputy Martin had found you, were you scared, Deputy Martin?
Well, I was confused. I was trying to figure out what was going on. And then when he approached me, it seemed like he was making up. I was thinking that we were going to resolve the issue.
Now, at some point in the night, you were in the bathroom of room 711 talking to Mr. Tafoya.
Yes.
And according to your testimony, Deputy Martin started banging on the door.
Yes.
And I think you said he was saying,
open the fucking door.
For the door.
The fuck, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I apologize. Now, it appears that they came out of the clear blue sky. I mean, is that your impression as well?
Yes, it was very odd, very crazy, and it was, yeah.
And you can't give any good reason why you would do that, could you?
No, I can't. It was odd.
Now, at that time, you were in the restroom, and you had a cell phone, obviously, because you were talking to Ms. Tafoya. Why didn't you simply lock the door and call for help?
I still believe we could resolve the issue.
Did you make a conscious and rational decision not to call for help because you knew when they get Deputy Martin in trouble?
I don't think I was thinking that at the time. I was just kind of thinking he's banging on the door. Open the fucking door. Like, it was confusing and aggressive.
And so why didn't you believe that calling even the hotel lobby or the police was a good idea?
Well, in my mind, I am the police. So I kind of went into cop mode and I was like, okay, I'm going to de-escalate the situation.
So that decision to believe you were in cop mode was a rational and reasoned decision, wasn't it?
I can say it just happened.
What?
It's just how I felt at the time. Like, the feeling came up, and that's how I felt.
And it was in yourself, your best self-interest to do so to make the decision. Is that right?
It just came over me. I can't say anymore.
So are you telling this jury that thought came to you with no thought? Just popped into your head?
Yes, that thought, it just happened. I went into cop mode. It was just like, I got to de-escalate the situation or figure out what was going on.
And can I assume that cop mode is thinking and acting and behaving like a police officer?
What was the mode? Yes, I believe that's accurate, yes.
Now, so at that point, even though you testified that Deputy Martin was allegedly being loud and aggressive, you decided to open the door. And you did in fact open the door, is that right?
Yes, I did.
And then, the next thing that happened, you yelled at Deputy Martin to sit down, sit down. Is that right?
Yes.
And you made these commands with a weapon in your hand or not?
No weapon. I was just telling him to sit down so we could talk about what's going on. I wanted to figure it out.
And when you came out of the bathroom, if you remember, where exactly in the room was Deputy Martin's position?
When I came out of the bathroom, he was close to me, and then he started walking away. And then he turned around, and that's when I noticed he had a gun in his hand. I don't remember how far or how close. I don't remember. I just remember the gun.
Let me see if I can help you. I'm putting on the promo what's been accepted evidence as State's Exhibit 82. If I can get that on my focus. Can you see that over here?
Yes, sir.
At the furthest point, when you're away from Deputy Martin, is it fair to say Deputy Martin was standing somewhere in this area?
I don't remember him making it that far.
Okay. How about to the end of the Almar right there? Is that?
I would say I remember between the area of that whole, like in between where the dresser is,
Yes.
kind of in that area, like from the one side of the dresser to the other. It was kind of in that area.
So just for make sure I have this right. At that time, you first went to the bathroom, Deputy Martin was sitting somewhere in the area of the second bed close to the window?
No,
Okay, sorry.
by the dresser, so closer. When he turned around, I remember.
You want this dresser?
oh, I'm sorry, I guess it's a TV. It kind of looks like a dresser, but it's like a TV. Sorry.
Kind of over here, sir?
Yes, somewhere in that area.
Now you see that sticker that says N? Is that actually where Deputy Martin said he touched it or no?
To my recollection, when he turned around and had the gun in his hand, that's approximately where he was, yes.
And in this picture, the bathroom is where?
It's close to that closet, like the door to the left.
Okay, is it here?
Yes.
And you would open the door. Did you keep your head out when you first saw, when you first heard those words, sit down, or stand fully outside the door?
I don't remember. I believe I went outside of the door. I don't know if I peeked first or just went out. I don't remember.
And where?
Mr. D'Antonio, move the mic back.
Thank you. I apologize. At that point in time, so when you first issued that statement, where were you instructing Detective Martin to sit?
I wanted to come walk and sit over here or on the bed, wherever, just sit down so we could talk about things.
Did you point to a place to sit, or did you just issue the commands without any further instruction?
I don't remember what I did, if I was pointing or if I wasn't pointing. I remember just saying, sit down, because I wanted to talk about what was happening. And sit down so we could de-escalate both, like, ourselves.
At that point in time, when Deputy Martin was standing right by that, you believe, by the yellow sign there from the outlook, and you were in the doorway of the bathroom. Is that pretty much accurate?
I don't know where I was in that area. I don't know if I came all the way out or where I was standing exactly. But I remember being like really face on with him, so I don't believe I was in the bathroom. I believe I was standing like head on with him. So I came out of the bathroom.
Okay, fair enough. And that's when you allegedly noticed that Deputy Martin had a gun in his left hand. Is that correct?
Yes.
After you issued the commands, is your testimony that Officer Martin then rushed at you and struck you in the face?
I remember being in just shock, and then I remember getting hit, and I remember just black, like getting hit in the face.
Now, do you believe at that point in time that Officer Martin struck you in the face with a firearm?
I couldn't say. I remember just black, and then the pain in my face. I remember just the brush of pain, and then me hitting the floor. That's what I remember.
So, where did you hit the floor after you were being struck by?
Well, I know now that where the blood is, but at the time I didn't know. It was just chaos. It was just pure chaos. I didn't know where I was.
So you have no knowledge of where you were?
I would say I just got hit, and it was just it was black and pain, and then I was getting punched. I couldn't tell where I was. I was disoriented.
Do you recall whether you were hit once or multiple times?
I was hit more than once. I don't know. It was just, I can't really specify where or when. It was just a chaotic fight. He was on top of me, and it was just chaotic. I'm trying to describe it a different way, and that's what I can come up with.
Okay, now you said it was on top of you. Do you recall if you were on your back and it was on top of you, or you were on the stomach and it was on top of you? How was he on top of you?
I don't recall. I just remember being lower than him and getting hit.
At that point in time, Mr. Chan, were you in the vicinity of that blood-stained we've all seen over and over again on the bed closest to the wall?
Yes, I would say that's where I was.
And would you also acknowledge that at that same time, Deputy Martin was standing between you and the exit door? In other words, he was in front of you, is that right?
I would say that, Sure, that could be correct. I don't remember. I don't know where he was. I just remember getting hit. And, yeah.
He couldn't have been behind you. He was in enough space, so he must have been in front of you. Is that right?
Yes, that's accurate.
There came a time when Deputy Martin said, please no, please no. Do you remember that?
I don't remember any words. I remember just actions.
Now, is it your belief that your gun, prior to this incident happening, was zippered in your overnight bag in the corner here by your bed?
The last time I remember seeing my bag, it was in this corner. It was over here by the bed, like by the other end of the bed, zipped up and down by the floor.
So when you were sitting, when you were being knocked down near the pool of blood of the bed, you had close access to that bag. Is that right?
I would have, yes, if that bag's there and then that's where I was. I would say I would have close access to that bag, yes.
And it's also true that if you know that before the incident, Deputy Martin's handguns both were in this blue bag in the far corner in the room.
Yes, that's where he put his
and that's probably about as far as you can get from your gun to his gun. They were opposite corners, is that right?
It's pretty, yes, it's far.
He was during the struggle, kind of in that area right you described, with you closest to the wall and Mr. Martin close to the door, that you had an opportunity to grab the weapon in Deputy Martin's hand. Is that how it worked?
Yes.
Now, have you had training in fundamental gun retention?
Like keeping your gun in your holster?
Right. Or just protecting your gun at all costs?
We trained on keeping our gun holstered. So like a lot of drills on the holster.
If you pulled your weapon on a target, a subject, is there a safe distance you need to stay in so prevent the threat from somebody taking that gun away from you?
Yes, I believe there was a distance, yeah, yes.
You're training on that, right? You know you have to stand a certain amount of feet from a person when you have a gun with them, so you don't take the gun away from you and shoot you with it. Is that right?
Yes, we're always trained to keep to distance. We're trained distances.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Chan, that if you're taught in SWAT and in Basic Academy that if somebody is in close proximity to you and you have no room to get out of the way, you would hold the gun at your side like this and put your left hand out or your offshooting hand out there to defend them taking your gun. Is that right?
That we're trained to do that, yes.
Sure. And that's because you don't want every shot with your own gun, right?
Yes.
And you're also trained too that you never hold your gun out straight armed like this in proximity to a subject, because that's the easiest way you're going to be taken away from you. Is that true?
We are not trained to. We are trained those how to like keep your gun close to you in case of close proximity, and we are told that yes, if you have your gun outstretched, that it's a possibility that it can be taken away from you. Yes.
And is it also true that all police, all deputies in Santa Fe County are trained that same ideal technique, right?
Yes.
Are you trained as well that in the police academy that you never use your gun as a bat or a club? Isn't that right?
I wouldn't say you would never use your gun like that, but that's not what it's. We are not taught to do that. Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. I guess as an attacking method, you would never, in your training, the deputy wouldn't use that as a first point of violence.
We are not trained to do that.
And why is that so important, not to use your weapon in the first instance as a bathtub or a club?
Well, I would say that that's just not what it's designed for. It's designed to shoot.
Okay, so, and isn't also a secondary reason, was the closer you put that gun to somebody, a better chance they can take it away from you?
Yes, I would agree with you.
Can I make something more, Judge?
Yes, go ahead.
Are you taught in either your SWAT training or your police training that you never engage in a physical altercation with a gun in your hand, if possible?
Yes, if possible, it's not a good situation to be in.
And that's again, somebody can take the gun away from you, is that right?
Correct.
Do you find it unusual that Deputy Martin did not follow protocols as far as gun retention when he allegedly attacked you?
I find it very unusual. All of it was unusual. It was strange. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Describe for the jury again how you took the gun away from Deputy Martin.
Well, once I held the gun and I grabbed it, I had it with two hands and I was thinking, I have the gun, do not let go. Like, do not let go of this gun. And I turned the gun down towards him and then as hard down to the ground as I could to use as much momentum as I could to get the gun from him.
At that time, do you know if Officer Martin, Deputy Martin, had his finger in the trigger?
The gun went off, so yeah, I would assume, yeah.
Well, was it your finger in the trigger?
No.
So somebody's finger had to be the trigger for the gun to go off, right?
Yes.
Can your gun discharge the Glock you carry without a finger being pressed on the trigger?
No, it has to be pulled.
As a safety lever, as a physical safety mechanism on the trigger, does it?
Yes.
And you can bang that thing and smash it with a hammer, that gun will not go off, is that correct?
Correct.
When you apply that technique of twisting the weapon out of someone's hands when there are fingers in the trigger, doesn't that automatically cause damage to the finger?
I would say it's not really twisted, it's rolling the gun down hard. So we did it in the academy over and over again and it wouldn't hurt anybody's finger.
Never hurts anybody's finger. Once you disarm an individual who has a weapon, be it a knife or a gun, once that threat is removed, within the standard use of force policy, do you have the right to use deadly force against that person?
It depends on the situation. I knew he had more guns.
Well,
and he already shot at me, and he said he was going to shoot me. He was beating me up.
Mr. D'Antonio, at this point, let's not go over too much of the ground that you've already covered. And certainly now you're asking questions that there has been already a number of responses.
Okay, Judge, we'll do. Is it true, according to your training, that you never shoot in a public setting like a hotel without identifying your target?
We are trained to identify our target and know what's behind it.
Right, so you would never shoot unless you were an identified target, is that correct?
Yes.
And as a SWAT officer particularly, you're always trained to be acutely aware of how many rounds you have still left in your weapon, is that right?
I don't think we received training on counting rounds fired.
So how do you prevent, when you're on a SWAT mission and you're in fire, how do you ensure that you don't run out of ammo?
We are taught to do, when we do our shooting drills, we are trained to shoot and then assess and shoot if we need to some more.
Does shoot you around the bullets? Is that what you're taught?
No, not shoot you around the bullets.
Now the rounds that you shot while in room 711 crossed the hallway and entered to an adjacent room. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And at the time, did you know if there were any men, women, or children in the adjacent rooms?
No.
When you shot anyone, did you?
Yes.
Now, at some point, Mr. Martin exited room 711 and headed left down towards the elevator. Is that right?
Yes.
At that time, did you take a defensive position in the hotel?
I remember shooting when he was running and then me saying he's always running away, I can stop. So then I stopped and then I don't know what happened immediately after that. It was kind of, but then I just started banging on doors.
Now, you made a choice to, after Deputy Martin left the room, you made a choice to follow him instead of the choice that could have been made to stay in the room. Isn't that true?
It was like one fluid movement. It was just like, got the gun, stood up, and then just shot, and then I just remember being in the hallway shooting, and then him running away, and then I remember saying I could stop. He's running away.
Let's talk about running into the hallway. And I'll show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 177. Now, based on your training and skill as a SWAT officer, over 200 hours of specialized training, if you came into that hallway with the belief that someone with a gun was near the elevators, isn't it a fact you would have took protective cover behind this wall right here?
In a perfect training environment, we were taught to take cover.
Right. Well, you were in cop mode that night, weren't you?
Yes.
Now, a SWAT trained officer would have used a right-hand barricade and peeked out down the hallway to see if there was a threat, and he would have gauged whether to shoot or not. Isn't that correct?
This happened too fast. It was so fast.
Is that how a properly trained officer would have acted, according to your training?
I would say in training, we are taught to do that.
And in SWAT, it's very important to practice as you would in real life. Isn't that true?
In SWAT trainings, yes, we practice like real scenarios.
The only reason you would have entered that hallway and put yourself in that hallway kill zone because you knew that no one's going to return fire at you, isn't that right?
Well, I was stopping the threat, so I was in the offensive. So I was just shooting until he was running away, and then I stopped once he was running. So I was shooting to make sure that he wouldn't turn around and return fire at me. That was the reason for shooting down the hallway.
But as in fact, no one was shooting back at you, is that right?
He did not shoot back at me.
And that's why you knew it was safe to stand in the middle of the hallway, because you had no fear that you were going to be shot back. Is that true?
I was in a lot of fear, and I was shooting to ensure he wouldn't shoot back at me.
Now, SWAT training specifically trains you to do the right thing when you're under stress. That's why we have SWAT, isn't that right?
Yes.
You'll be up beyond the average police officer, and you're certainly will be up beyond the average civilian. So, the question is, a highly trained SWAT officer would only enter that hallway, sir, if you knew you couldn't be shot back at.
I was shooting to ensure he would not shoot back at me.
Well, that was the question I asked, but I'll let that go. Before Jeremy Martin exited room 711, did you say, now get the fuck out of here?
I could have said that. I don't remember saying anything, but I'm not speaking. I could have said that.
Is it true when Deputy Martin exited room 711, you lost sight of him?
I would say, I mean, this happened so fast. So it was for, I don't even know how, milliseconds.
Is your testimony that you did lose sight of him or you did not lose sight of him?
I'll say I could have lost sight of him as he turned that corner for, I don't know how duration that time would be.
Do you recall what Deputy Martin was wearing when you engaged in the struggle in room 711?
I don't remember.
Do you recall that he was wearing sweatpants?
I don't remember at the time what he was wearing.
When you stepped out of the hallway, adjacent and down a bit from room 711, were you in a prone position or were you in a standing position?
I would say I was in a standing position.
And were you in a normal, standard combat shooting position when you were in the hallway?
I don't remember. It was so fast.
Now, when you're trained to shoot, the first thing you want to do is get a clear sight picture, is that right?
Yes.
And you want to be careful to squeeze the trigger and not jerk it. That's also right, right?
Yes.
And you want to somehow try to control your recoil, better known as recoil management.
Yes.
And for the best accuracy, you want to slow your rate of fire. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And you hit Deputy Martin 5 out of 10 shots. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's pretty good shooting on a moving target. Is that not right?
Yes.
Now, and would you agree with me that it's easier to shoot at a target that is running away, not shooting back at you, than it is at a target moving towards you and shooting at you? Is that right?
I would say it's easier. It's easier.
And at that point, when you have the gun in your hand, even though you don't recall the position you were in, but standing position, and Jeremy Martin was running away with no visible gun. You at that point were in control of the battle, isn't that right?
I was shooting to make sure that he couldn't take cover and shoot back me with another gun, or just turn around and shoot at me with another gun.
And you were shooting down the hallway towards the elevator, is that right?
Yes.
Now, at the time you were shooting down the hallway at the elevators, were you aware if any man or child were using elevators at the time the bullets struck the elevator?
No.
Do you recall firing your first of 5 shots at Jerry Martin in the hallway?
I don't. I just remember being in the hallway shooting, and then I remember thinking he's running away, he's no longer a threat, and to stop. So I stopped.
Isn't it true, Mr. Chan, that you stopped because at the end of the hallway, Deputy Martin, trying to avoid your bullets, turned to the left and got in the middle of the elevator. That's why I stopped shooting, isn't that right?
No, I remember him running and me saying I'm stopped. I remember him running away and me thinking I can stop shooting, and I stopped.
But you said after you were arrested that he was still a threat.
Yes, I didn't think I was hitting him. I didn't see him go down. I saw after that, then he did run the corner, and then I didn't see him anymore.
You said at the time you were arrested, after shooting, that you thought that Mr. Martin was still a threat. Is that true or not true?
After the shooting, Mr. Martin was still a threat.
He was still a threat to you. Is that right?
Yes, I thought that.
So, are you telling this jury that you stopped shooting because he was still a threat?
I stopped shooting because he was running away from me, and he was down the hallway quite a ways, and I stopped.
If he was still a threat, why'd you stop shooting?
And that was the thought that came in my mind. I could stop. He's running away.
Now, before you entered the hallway from room 711, before you entered the hallway from room 711, you could have been safe behind closed doors in room 711, is that true?
I knew he could get back in the room.
Before you exited the room, before you chased Mr. Martin out, you could have stayed in the room, right?
I didn't.
But you could.
I could have, but then I knew Jeremy had other guns, and he had a key card.
Now, in that room, sir, you had water, isn't that right?
And water?
And you had a bathroom.
Yes.
And you had 3 guns in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One of yours? Oh, okay. You had at least 1 gun.
Yes.
And you had a cell phone and a house phone. Is that correct?
I had a work phone and my phone, yes.
And then you had a house phone that's
Oh, yes,
a
correct.
private hotel.
Correct.
So your safest move for you and for the public would have been to stay in your room. Isn't that correct?
No.
Did you think it was better for you to be on a stairway up by roof access? You thought that was a more safe place to be?
At that time, I was trying to find a place where I could have the least amount of threats to me that I could observe, so that was where I stayed.
Now, you said you don't agree with me that the hotel was the safest place you could be. Is that right?
The hotel room, yes.
Hotel room, yes. It wasn't the safest place to be.
No.
And you sure of that?
Yes.
Confident as it is can be.
Yes.
Mr. D'Antonio, I don't believe our reporter understood the question that you asked. Would you repeat it for the record?
I asked Mr. Chan whether he thought that the hotel room was the safest place that he could be.
Thank you.
that work for the child?
Go ahead, Mr. Dipton.
I'm going to show you some prior testimony. And if you read line 6 to 8, for me please, and see if that refreshes your memory or your recollection. Yes. Is your memory? Go back to the podium. Mr. Chan, is your memory sufficiently refreshed at this point?
Yes.
Did you say in that prior testimony that you thought that you would not disagree that at that point in time the hotel was a safe, a hotel room, 7-Eleven, was the safest place to be?
In that statement I said I wouldn't disagree.
You said you wouldn't disagree with that statement, which means you agree, is that correct?
I don't agree.
Just so that there's no confusion, Mr. Chan, they asked you if your memory had been refreshed in terms of what you may have said in any prior sworn testimony. So, I'm confused. You're agreeing that you in fact said what Mr. D'Antonio is indicating is reflected in the prior testimony.
I remember explaining that the cover and concealment in the room would not have been safe.
Would not have been, or are you confirming that you said that room 7-Eleven would be the safest place that you could be?
I saw that statement and that's what that said, but I went on, I believe, not in that page, but I believe I went on to explain that the room would not be safe because there was no cover in the room, there was just concealment.
Go ahead, Mr. D'Antonio.
After the shooting stopped on the hallway on the 7th floor of the Encounter Hotel, you proceeded down towards the elevators, made a right down the corridor, and wound up in a stairwell, is that right?
Yes,
And if I'm correct, the stairwell went down and up. Right?
yes, yes,
And you took a defensive position, your words, right? Up in the part of the stairway near the elevator, near the roof access. Is that correct?
it was so I could see the door and then down the stairwell, yes.
Did you check to see if the roof access was locked?
I did, I checked and it was locked.
Were you ever trained, either in SWAT or in your police training, to hide from a dangerous man who was in a public space filled with civilians?
We were trained on different scenarios, but I would say we are trained to seek cover if need be.
You also have a higher duty to protect the public.
Sustained.
Now, you were hyper-vigilant during that episode, were you not?
Sustained.
I'm not talking about the specific situation that on the stairwell was not asked and answered.
Your question was whether he had been hyper-vigilant. Discussion over that word. So I remembered it as having been past tense. Go ahead and proceed to another question.
At some point, you were in the hallway, and you never attempted to get into the lobby, is that right?
No.
And did you ever, other than your legs banging on doors and asking to call the police, did you make any attempt to contact the police?
I did not know.
Now, when you heard the dog,
I was thinking the police are here and I was happy.
Now, you didn't want to get bit with a dog, is that correct?
Yes,
And you certainly don't want to get shot by the responding officers, is that right?
correct.
And so you told them where you were, who you were, basically, and you told them you had a gun.
Yes,
And would you agree with me that that was rational, intelligent thinking, and in your best self-interest?
I would say that I was trying to convey who I was, and yes, I agree.
Now, at any time during your contact with law enforcement, did you tell the police that there was a man named Jeremy Martin who was a deputy who was loose with a possible weapon?
I did not say that, no.
Now, why didn't you tell them that?
I was just so amped and scared, and I was just drunk. I was trying to just convey the danger the best I could at that time. That's what came out.
Well, you were drunk. You said you were intoxicated, Mr. Chan, but in fact, when you were in fear of being bit or shot by law enforcement, you acted in a very reasonable and prudent manner. Is that true?
Yes,
And does the intoxication level fall and rise during the night?
well, in my case, I think it rose.
So, okay. Now, you told us earlier in the direct examination that you have served warrants. Is that correct? Was something or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is more important than information to a police officer that's executing a warrant?
It's important.
Very important, right?
Yes, sir.
And you knew that it was very important to tell the police exactly what was going on to protect you, them, and the residents of that hotel. Isn't that right?
Yes.
You know that information is important because it saves lives, right?
Yes.
And in fact, you were putting your officers in further danger by not giving them a full situation of what was going on.
I was trying my best to convey the situation that, given my state of how I was feeling, but I agree with you that I did not provide many details of the situation.
And would you agree with me too that lying to the police for any reason is not a very good thing to do in that situation? Is that right?
Yes.
Now let's talk about your department standards on bomb threats. You are aware that if an officer is informed that there's a bomb threat, an officer or deputy has certain responsibilities. Is that right?
Yes.
And one of those questions that deputies should ask a person who claims a bomb threat is what time is the bomb set to go off? Is that right?
I don't know about bomb training.
Okay. From your general training, you don't know that. Do you understand from just your basic police training that police are obligated to respond to a bomb in a certain type of manner?
Yes.
And that if a bomb squad is called out, if a building is evacuated, then evidence of a crime scene could be trampled. Isn't that right?
Yes.
I have one more chance to go ahead. Thank you. You said on direct examination that in the use of deadly force, that if there's a gun involved and the subject does not comply with your command, then you feel you're obligated or have the authority to shoot. Is that right? You said, I get that right? You said I'm correct?
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say obligated to shoot, but it's definitely a higher awareness if you're giving commands and they are not cooperating with what you're saying and they have a gun. It's definitely a bad situation.
Mr. Chan, I stand corrected. My was obligation, not yours, so you're correct on that. But you do have the authority to shoot deadly force if necessary. Is that right? If
Yes.
an armed individual does not
Comply and make further actions to try and shoot you, yes.
Now, did Deputy Martin not comply with the command you gave him before you shot him?
I didn't give any commands.
Now, do you recall being in a police vehicle after you were placed under arrest?
Yes.
And you made some statements that were tape recorded, I guess, at early morning hours of the 28th, is that correct?
Yes.
And at one point, you said, I was held up, I'm a victim, I'm a cop, fuck this shit. What did you talk about when you were saying you were held up?
Probably that someone just tried to kill me and pointed a gun at me and shot at me.
So you were talking about Mr. Martin at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And when you said about the bomb, do you think I'm fucking lying? Did you say that, by the way?
Yes, I believe so.
And as a matter of fact, you were lying, weren't you?
I was, yes.
Now, Mr. Chan, I'm about to sit down now. Before I do, isn't it true that you were unhappy with Deputy Martin on the night of August 27th and August 28th? Isn't that true?
And I was unhappy.
Yes, with him, yes.
At Dublin's, I would say I was trying to resolve an issue, and it was like he was angry at me. But I wouldn't say I was mad at him.
And you got back in the room, and you unzippered your bag, removed your service weapon, pointed it at Deputy Martin, and said, "Sit the fuck down." He then came at you. There was a struggle behind the bed. You attempted us with the gun. He ran, and you killed him. Isn't that what really happened?
That is not true.
No further questions.
We need to finish with this witness today. Do any of you need a break before we go any further, or just to stretch out a little bit? Does the jury want to do that, or shall we go on? You need a little bit. Does anyone need a little bit of a break? I'm asking that question. Let's take just a very short break to stretch out. All right.
policy self-preservation?
Yes.
The number one thing that you're trying to do at the end of the day is what?
To go home.
You talked about this word cop mode. Is cop mode another way of saying survival mode?
Yes.
Training mode?
Yes.
Self-preservation mode?
Yes.
You were asked about the fact that you were trained not to engage in a physical conflict with someone when you have a firearm or a gun in your hand because the subject might take it away, right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened in this case, isn't it?
Yes.
Mr.
Jeremy.
Martin physically assaulted you and you took the gun away, right?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia, because of the lateness of the hour, I'll give you a little bit of flexibility, but this isn't leading
Okay, Your Honor.
in every question. Okay, be careful.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll try to rephrase some of them. You were asked about the fact that you did not say Jeremy Martin's name immediately after your arrest. Did you convey anything about what had just happened to you, to the officer?
Yes, I said. I had to shoot. He shot at me first. He was going to kill me.
Who did you say you had to shoot?
I didn't say at the time who it was. I think, my friend.
You called him your friend, right?
Yes.
Okay. You were also asked about, I guess, what were you thinking about when you were in that hallway, whether or not Jeremy Martin had a gun? What was in your head then?
When I was shooting and he was running away in the hallway, I was thinking he had other guns, he could shoot at me back, he'd return fire.
Did you have any information from earlier that Jeremy Martin in fact had another gun?
Yes, he showed me his, I knew he had his primary gun and then he showed me his other smaller holdout gun.
You were asked on cross if in that hallway Jeremy Martin ever pulled a gun out and aimed it at you in the hallway. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Had Jeremy Martin pointed a gun and aimed it at you right before you shot?
Yes, in the room.
You were asked by the state after, when you were in this panic mode, as you described it in the hallway, why you didn't call your supervisor. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You were asked after the event why you didn't call your supervisor?
Yes.
And I think he also asked you why you didn't do that after you were in custody with the police, right?
Right.
Well, why were you unable to call your supervisor that night?
Well, I didn't have my phone, and when I was arrested, I wasn't able to make any calls.
When you were arrested, did the Las Cruces Police Department let you call anyone for the 6 hours that you were handcuffed to that bench?
Sustained.
Did the Las Cruces Police Department let you call anyone?
No, they did not let me call anybody when I was being held at the police department.
Again, Ms. Garcia, be aware of the court's direction.
When you came out of the bathroom right before you saw Jeremy Martin with the gun in his hand, had you been on the phone with Lea still, with Lea Tafoya at that point?
Yes.
Did you still have the phone in your hand?
Not what's already been testified to. I'm not going to sustain the objection. Respond, please.
I don't remember where the phone was at that time.
You were asked a lot of scenarios about did your training ever prepare you for this or that? Did your training ever prepare you for a situation where you would be attacked and shot by your partner?
No.
Did you ever dream that night that Jeremy Martin would put a gun on you?
Never, no.
If you explained what happened here very step by step on that night, but in those 20 seconds when that night was occurring, did you have time to think and break things down like you just did before this jury?
Sustained.
From the time when you left the room and you went outside and was on the phone to when you went back, do you know how much time had elapsed?
I don't recall.
Was it a matter of minutes or was it longer?
He doesn't recall. Let's leave it there.
When you said sit down to Jeremy Martin, I believe your testimony was that you were trying to de-escalate the situation, right?
Yes.
Had you tried to de-escalate the situation earlier that night at the bar?
Yes.
Leading, asked and answered, sustained.
When you were out in the hall and you were asked about the safest place being in the room, did you even have your hotel card on you at that time?
I don't remember. I might have. I wasn't even thinking that. It was. I knew I would have to fumble. I was like shaking. I couldn't control myself. I would have to take my card out of my wallet, and I was shaking. I was so scared. The only thing I had to do was get in someone else's room, and I didn't want to stay there because I knew he had a card and he could come, and he knew where that room was and find me there.
Again, Mr. Chen, if you're asked a question about
Sorry.
the card on your person, it doesn't require as long an answer as you've just given.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Question that way we make a little better than what. Go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
Thank you. When you were there hiding in the stairwell, and you were talking to Officer, well, let me rephrase. When you were in there talking with Officer Cosper, what was your state of mind? What were you thinking of? What were you focused on?
I was focused on the door. So I was looking over him at the door because that was where Jeremy could come in and start shooting.
On direct you said you were asked if you were trained to shoot until you run out of bullets. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you said, no, you're not trained that way. How are you trained to shoot?
We're trained to shoot until you stop the action.
So you stop the action. Have you ever heard the term, can you explain the term tactical discipline to the jury?
Tactical discipline is, shooting and then assessing and then understanding where you're at in the situation you're in.
The district attorney kept asking you, saying when you stepped out of the hallway, when you stepped into the hallway, is that an accurate description of how you entered the hallway?
No.
Can you explain to the jury how you got in the hallway?
It was an abrupt movement. It wasn't like I just stepped out. It was like one fast, huge motion. So I just all of a sudden realized I was in the hallway and shooting, and then I realized I saw him and I stopped.
You were asked if you were aware of the fact that there was nobody in that adjacent room across. Do you remember that?
Yes.
How does it make you feel to know that there was in fact nobody there?
It makes me feel good that none of those harmed anybody.
Did you have that feeling of concern for the guests in the building on that night?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia, sorry.
I'll read
If
the
the objections are made, I have to respond to them, so I can't give you that kind of flexibility. You're leading nearly every question.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just trying to expedite. I'm going to try to read
I
this.
understand that, and if there are minor matters, then I don't have an issue with it, but not when you're going into other areas that are more substantive.
In that Cosper audio, do you remember making any statements to the police regarding any concern for anybody?
Yes, I remember voicing a lot of times where I was really concerned for all the cops there and people in the hotel, and then my family, my girlfriend at the time, Lea.
And shortly after this, I guess you were asked about your training, the phrase, when in doubt, don't shoot. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you ever have any doubt that your life was in danger that night?
No.
Yeah, a second.
Go ahead.
No further questions.
Thank you. Mr. D'Antonio, recross examination, but again, this same admonition, don't go into the areas that have already been responded to. And it was a relatively limited redirect.
Absolutely right.
Yes, go ahead.
Please record. Mr. Chan, on redirect, you confirmed that the night in question you were incompetent.
Yes.
And that means that you used your training and your skill to get through a very what appeared to be a stressful situation. According to your version of the facts. You mentioned on cross self-preservation and going home. Well, isn't it true when an individual is incompetent, swore to protect the public, that it's not only your self-preservation that's important, it's the public's preservation is at least equally important. Is that true?
Yes.
And it's also true that you say you want to go home that night. Isn't it equally true that everybody wants to go home that night?
Yes.
Isn't it true that Deputy Martin wanted to go home that night?
Yes.
No further questions, I can do.
Does the jury have any questions of Mr. Chan? Go ahead, proceed. Let me have Ms. Garcia. She can be able to answer this question. shots do you believe that you fired, Mr. Martin?
I don't know. I just remember my gun recoiling, the kick of my gun. I remember the first two, and then I don't know after that.
In your earlier testimony today, did you give a confirmation that you believe that you had shot up to 10?
I didn't know. I didn't say how many I don't say how many I shot. I couldn't tell.
You indicated that Mr. Martin had tried to hit you or that he hit you and kicked you in the groin and was making comments that you described as scaring you. Instead of just leaving the hotel for that short period of time, why did you choose to get another room to separate yourself?
I chose to just go outside and call Lea. I mean, I just didn't do that. I went outside. That was what I did. I was confused in what was happening. I just didn't get another room. I went outside. That's what I did.
Again, as a law enforcement officer, if you were concerned for the safety of other people, why did you go to the stairwell instead of just trying to go down to the lobby or warning someone that there was someone else that you believe may have had a gun in the hotel?
Well, I was banging on doors saying sheriff's office, and running, trying to convey that and also hide. I was just so scared. The fear I had that night, sheer terror is the only way to express that, and I don't believe training prepares you for that. And I just was so terrified. I found the stairwell and I stood there and knew that I had my two threats, and I waited for help. I posted up there.
Again, the jury is able to follow up with additional questions if necessary. When you were shooting, where do you believe was the safest place for the other patrons to be that were on the floor where you were discharging your weapon?
I don't really understand the question. Can you read it again?
Well, would you agree that you probably understood that there were other occupants on floor 7, that you and Mr. Martin weren't the only ones there?
Yes.
So while you were discharging your weapon, where do you believe would have been the safest place for those patrons to be, those other occupants?
On the floor or behind something. Like in their room, to maybe see cover in the bathtub. I don't know.
After you had stopped shooting and were, as you testified to, looking for a place to hide, is your testimony that you knocked on doors yelling, "Sheriff's office," or "Let me in," was that to hide in one of those rooms?
Yes, I thought that would be the safest place to hide, because he wouldn't find me in just a random room. So that was my thinking at the time, was to hide in a room, and so I can get away from Jeremy.
Are there any further questions from the jury? Ms. Garcia, very limited and related only to these questions that were asked by the court. Do not be followed.
Thank you, Judge. You were asked about why, whenever you, instead of running outside, why you didn't choose to get another hotel room. When you went outside and you were on the phone, how is it that you ended up getting back inside and that
Jeremy came and got me.
And I think you already testified to how
Just ask this question.
he conveyed. Yes, but did you feel, based on what he had told you and how he was when he came to get you, did you feel like it was okay to go back inside?
Yes, I felt like he was apologizing.
And what was, now you know, I believe from that question, that there were 10 shots fired, right?
Right.
At the time when you were shooting, did you know how many shots there were?
I did not.
And you were also asked about where safest place for other patrons or who was in other rooms. What was the thing on your mind when you were discharging that firearm?
I was in a fight for my life to survive.
Were you thinking of anything else? In that
No,
moment?
no. I was thinking of survival.
No further questions.
Mr. D'Antonio, is there any follow-up that you'd like?
Mr. Chan, based on your operating procedures that requires you to give a warning before you discharge your firearm at a fleeing subject, if you'd have done that, you would have given a warning to the folks in the hotel, right?
Mr. D'Antonio, forgive me if you see the other attorney.
I'm sorry.
Trying to make an objection. I couldn't go first.
The other objection, I don't think there are any questions regarding the policies, and I think that this has already been asked and answered.
No, I'm going to overrule the objection. I believe that you're asking related to a question that has been asked by the jury. Go ahead.
The question was that the standard operating procedures say that you must, when feasible, issue a warning before shooting a fleeing suspect. If you would have issued that warning that night, isn't it true that you may have saved not only Jeremy Rod's life, but also prevented any possible stray bullets from striking hotel guests?
Mr. D'Antonio, just one question at a time, because I don't want the jury to get confused in terms of what he's responding to. You did ask two distinct questions there. Ask the first one.
Based on your operating procedures, as far as your prohibition or your directive to issue a warning, if feasible, when firing upon a fleeing subject, if you issued that warning, could you possibly stop the conflict before killing Deputy Martin?
Calls for speculation.
Sustained.
By issuing that warning that you're required to do, could you have warned indirectly other people in the room to seek cover before you shot?
Mr. D'Antonio, I don't believe that the witness ever confirmed that he understands that's the policy. That's why I asked you to provide the two questions first.
Do you understand that your former employer's policy was that when feasible, you should issue a warning before shooting at a fleeing felon?
I believe it wasn't fleeing. It was just when feasible, issue a warning before shooting.
At any time?
When feasible, issue a warning before shooting.
Did you, as you testified, you did not issue any kind of warning that night, is that right?
I did not.
That's all I have. Thanks, sir.
Sustained for the record. All right. Okay, Mr. Chen, that completes your testimony.
Thank you.
Again, I had explained to the jury yesterday evening that we have met. Forgive me. Mr. D'Antonio, will you confirm to me, as earlier, that you have no intent to call any further rebuttal witnesses?
Correct.
Thank you. You have heard all of the evidence that you're going to hear in this case. We have completed that phase. I had indicated to you I was going to have you come back Tuesday morning, 8:30, to hear the instructions of the court that you are to follow in terms of arriving at a verdict. You would then hear the final arguments of the parties, and then you would retire to begin your deliberations. Again, you have the apologies of the court, the extended beyond today's date, but at this point, there's no other option. So be back 8:30 Tuesday morning, May the 23rd. Not Monday, Tuesday. All right. Excuse you. Have a very, very good weekend. Ms. Gonzalez, you'll remain here so that I may discuss it. Go ahead.
Your Honor, just for the record, we need to put the defendant's rests.
All right. I'm sorry. I understood that you had completed.
We did, Your Honor. I just don't
And the court had indicated earlier that this was going to be the last witness. Thank you. But I'll note that the state is resting this case.
All right.
Let's see, Mr. D'Antonio, oh, I'm sorry. We may not recess yet, so everybody have their seat. But if we don't recess, it's to have a discussion related to the jury instructions, so you can stay or you can have a great weekend. But let me have Mr. Clark and Mr. D'Antonio approach first.
Yeah, I'll mention that.
to stretch your legs, if you want to move around, please do so.